You can measure the size of an elephant. You can clock the speed of a cheetah, but you can't quantify the heart of a kings, queens, and in-betweens. Welcome to Dr. Boxing Talk. Stream starts now.
The champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. If I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, 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 yo. What it do, what it do, what it do. Good, great, grand evening slash. Now, you know, well, some people may be afternoon, but shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all coming through, man. You wonderful, beautiful people out there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brethren and sistren, dude and dudettes, hermanos, mi hermanas, kings and queens, and everything in between. Y'all know what time it is. A doctor's in the house. Let's get it, man. You know we got a lot of stuff to talk about, man and woman. So we about to get right to it, you know. Got a couple topics on the way. Primarily, you know, has to do with Terrence Bud Crawford and the WBC and their beef, particularly with President Mauricio Suleiman. You know, and there's been a lot of emotions and opinions regarding the whole situation, you know, and it's regarding some lack of compensation. And yeah, we're gonna see how it goes, man. We're gonna address it all, man. You know, I have my opinion on it, and I have a strong opinion on it. And you know, that's what I do, baby. So you know, and you know, I'm gonna do my due diligence. So I feel like I got to the bottom of it, and I feel like it's pretty plain to see if you don't want to get caught up in emotions. You know what I'm saying? You really want to just analyze the situation, and that's what we gonna do, man. So we also want to talk about, of course, the wonderful PBC card tomorrow, man, headlined by Pitbull Cruz defending his 140-pound junior welterweight WBC interim title against that boy Lamont Roach, man, who's a 130-pound WBA title holder, but he will be stripped upon entering the ring, and that first brown bell goes ding. You see what I'm saying? That's how it should go, because he's no longer at that division, right? He's not at a division above. He's a division above that one. You know what I'm saying? 2 divisions above. So he should be stripped. I don't think there's any problem with that. But we are going to talk about some of the fights that should have happened, that's not happening, like Jenna Becker-Lauren and some other things as well. So we just gonna tackle a lot of things, and of course we're gonna give our predictions as well, man. So just stay tuned. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and say our prayers, man. So please join me and bow your heads. Let's get to it and thank the Most High. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for your blessings. Thank you for bringing us to this Friday. We thank God it's Friday, TGIF, but we thank God is for any and every day. Every day that ends with Y that you bless us, Lord. We know that our story's not over. Every time that we wake up and see the brightness of another beautiful day, or we see, or if it's a rainy day, it's still a good day because we woke up, and it's still an opportunity for us to, keep writing our story and make an impact, not just on our close ones, those that are close to us lives, but those that are far and wide away from us as well, Lord. We just want to leave our mark, and hopefully in a good way, and fulfill our purpose. And hopefully our purpose, has everything to do with spreading your word and spreading your name through love and kindness and our benevolence. So Lord, we just thank you for another day. We ask you to continuously guide us with good health, good wealth, and good relationships through Jesus' name. Amen. Amen, amen, amen. Let's go ahead and hit this roll call, man. We got a lot of folks in here, man. A lot of wonderful, beautiful people with us on this Friday night. You feel me? We got my brother Ill Will in the building. What's good, brethren? Let's get it, man. We have, yes, sir. We got Shamar in the building. We got Slums in the building. Let's get it popping, man. Let's get it popping, man. Click a little roll call. I appreciate y'all joining me. Hopefully everything's good on y'all side and the side of your loved ones. You feel me? Now, okay, so let's go, man. Let's go, man. Let's go, man. Let's go. All right, so check this out, man. So let's get right to it, right? So we have, we're going to start off with the Bud situation. We're going to start off with the Bud situation, which a lot of people are mad. There's a lot of mixed feelings about it, right? There's some people that are on Terrence Bud Crawford's side as a pound for pound king. Some people are on WBC Mauricio Suleiman's side, the president Mauricio Suleiman. Some people are on Eddie Hearn's side, some people on Oscar's side, some people on TKO Zuffa Boxing, Dana White's side, Turki Al-Sheikh's side. I think it's very simple, man. As long as you just sit down and listen, man. I dropped a video on it. Go check it out. Also as well, we on the Spotify, check that out as well. And Doc's Corner, you see what I'm saying? That's a newsletter that drops every Wednesday. Check that out as well. The link will be in the chat and in the description. Free newsletter, what I'm talking about? Check him out. But I think that people are just overcomplicating the situation. The situation is that Terrence Crawford beat Saul Canelo Alvarez, aka Cinnamon, the face of boxing, in September, right? Less than 2 months ago. Sorry, not less than 2 months ago. Less than 3 months ago, excuse me. A little bit over 2 months ago. And once he beat him, he obtained undisputed, which was a monumental historical event, right? And a magnificent feat. And according to his account, Mauricio Suleiman, let's just say the person that he was rooting for didn't win. He wasn't expecting or happy about that outcome, right? And of course, which is not really a bad thing. I don't think that's necessarily negative. I mean, everybody's human, so you have people that you're rooting for. And Canelo Cinnamon is a face of boxing, right? So, I think that does add to the story, but it's not nearly as important of how things have transpired after that. So a lot of people are saying that, Bud doesn't want to pay the fees because that's what Mauricio Suleiman said, that Bud didn't pay the fees and he didn't give him any type of explanation. He didn't give him an apology. He didn't even tell him what his plans are for the future, if he's going to stay at 168 or if he's going to move on. So Suleiman said that, hey, man, he didn't pay the fees, and he left it at that. And so Bud responded, as he should, to defend his name, right? When someone talks about you, if it's not true, then you go and correct it. That's what we should all do, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if you ever watched the Salem Witch trials or read the book, right? John Proctor says, do whatever you want with my body, but give me my name, meaning that I stand for something and my name means something. Don't drag me through the mud unceremoniously, especially if you're going to do it. At least let it be for something I did. Don't accuse me for something erroneously and then, brand my name with that, suddenly my name. So it's like I say it jokingly, but I always say, if you're going to snitch on me, at least tell the truth. Don't snitch and lie on me. Gosh dang, shame on you. You gonna snitch and lie? If you gonna snitch on me and tell on me, at least tell the truth. I can't be too bad if it's something I did. You see what I'm saying? Me and you might not be friends no more, but if you snitch on me, at least let it be something truthful, right? So Mauricio Suleiman painted the picture like Terrence Bud Crawford was just like he just ran off on the plug twice. Well, I guess this will be 4 times because there's 4 sanctioned bodies: the IBF, WBA, WBC, and WBO. And that's not the truth. The truth is that Terrence Crawford and the other sanctioned bodies agreed to a certain amount, right? to be paid after the win, because it's typically 3%, but they said, 3% of whatever that purse was, which is undisclosed, but is rumored to be around $50 million. That's a little bit too much. So they agreed to a certain amount, and Bud broke them off. Coincidentally, you don't see the WBA president Gilberto Mendoza complaining about unpaid fees from Terrence Bud Crawford. You don't see the IBF president Daryl Peoples complaining about unpaid fees from Terrence Bud Crawford. You don't see the WBO president Gustavo Oliveira complaining about unpaid fees from Terrence Bud Crawford. The only one that you see complaining is the WBC president Mauricio Suleiman. And Terrence Crawford explained, which I further explained in the video, I'm not going to bring it up again. He said that they agreed to a certain amount, but Mauricio Suleiman, not only did they not agree, but they didn't agree because he wanted more. Let me say that again. He wanted more money. He wanted to be paid more than the other sanctioning bodies. They wanted to tax him an additional amount of money. They wanted to be paid an exorbitant fee compared to the rest. So rightfully so, Terrence Bud Crawford said no. But basically what I'm saying is this, though. We don't even need to know all that. All Mauricio Suleiman had to do was just strip him. But he wanted to expose Bud for not paying, and it just backfired. You see what I'm saying? Because if you really listen to the situation, it's not that he didn't want to pay. It's that Mauricio Suleiman wanted more because they feel like the WBC belt is better than the other sanctioning bodies. Where they do that at? It's 4 belts, right? 4 belts get you undisputed. Meaning 25% IBF, 25% WBC, 25% WBO, 25% WBA, and bring them all together like Captain Planet, and they form the undisputed belt, which is what Bud has. So I'm not saying that Bud should not have paid him. I'm saying that I think you should adhere to whatever the rules are and the guidelines to maintain a championship in that sanctioning body. But it seems like he wasn't unwilling. He was just unwilling to be taken advantage of. And why would any man or woman want to be taken advantage of? That's not a good feeling. You see what I'm saying? So to be more, the more appropriate conclusion is that it's not that Terrence Bud Crawford didn't want to pay or he refused to pay. He refused to pay more than what they agreed upon. That is the truth. You see what I'm saying? And to further push the point, you hear Mauricio Suleiman talking about the fighter's purse. That has nothing to do with Mauricio Suleiman. Right? And if a fighter doesn't abide by the rules that's set to maintain your championship status, then you should be stripped, right? Whether it's paying your fees or whether it's fighting your mandatories. But we know that's not the case with everybody. You know, Cinnamon's one of my favorite fighters, aka Canelo, but a lot of people say that he should have fought David Benavidez for like 2 years. Well, if you don't fight David Benavidez, who was ranked #1, he was never the ordered mandatory, but why wasn't he the ordered mandatory? Because President Mauricio Suleiman was cool with Canelo not following the rules as long as he was breaking him off that check. And coincidentally, conveniently, Saul Canelo Alvarez is the biggest breadwinner in all of boxing. He was the face of boxing. That's literally what that means. He's the biggest cash cow, the biggest revenue generator, meaning if you go by percentage fee, that they would get compensated the most as long as Cinnamon has the belt in his hands. So they didn't care about the rules then, but you know when they did care about the rules? When Dmitry Bivol was ordered to fight Benavidez right after winning undisputed from Artur Beterbiev, and they also stripped him with urgency, with most haste, similar in the fashion to which they just stripped Terrence Bud Crawford. And you know what Eddie Hearn, the same guy that's speaking out on Terrence Crawford about not paying fees, you know what Eddie Hearn and Frank Smith said, the president of Matchroom? They said that shame on Mauricio Suleiman because what they did was dirty and foul, and they were worried about Dmitry Bivol's purse, which is of no concern, which should be of no concern to them. Go check out the last video. I broke it down. So basically, Eddie Hearn is speaking out on Terrence Crawford on behalf of Mauricio Suleiman when he literally had the same exact complaint when it was a reference to his fighter, Dmitry Bivol, a few months ago about the same sanctioning body, the WBC, with President Mauricio Suleiman. So you let me know, what does that sound like? So they care less about people adhering to the rules. They care more about putting money in their pockets, even at the expense of their own integrity. And this is what happens when the truth will always set you free, right? A lot of people are like, oh yeah, well, this is bad timing. And I agree, this is bad timing because, as some of you may or may not know, they're going through proceedings right now in order to approve the Zuffa boxing, a TKO boxing, Dana White, Khan, and Turkey Al Sheikh's effort to establish their own boxing league right now. And they're definitely using this as a talking point, right? It's, which I'm not really for that. You know, I'm not for it at all. I'm with the force the bodies, but once again, people are blaming Bud. No, Bud is he's reacting. We're mad at his reaction, but what was the initial action? The initial action was Mauricio Solomon trying to expose somebody out of the sake of greed, and he ended up exposing himself. So now he just gave Nick Khan and all the rest of the pro Zuffa boxing, TKO boxing conglomerate, he done gave them all fire to add, that he gave them all fuel to add to their fire to promote their boxing league and say things like this won't happen in their boxing league. All this because of greed, man. See, that's what happens when you move out of greed. It like blinds you. He just shot himself in the foot. Mauricio Solomon, that is. So Oscar De La Hoya and Eddie Hearn, when they're coming out and speaking against Bud, if you listen to what they're saying, they're really trying to do damage control because they are anti-Zuffa, which I think they should be, but they're anti the new boxing league. That's all it comes down to. But yeah, we gonna keep cooking on this, man, because I'm not done. Because we have another example dealing with the PBC card tomorrow that has something to do with WBC and their greed again. But we're gonna keep it going, man. Shout out to my brother Clone, dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter. My brother Clone says, I'm early. Your vids are bangers, bro. Man, thank you, bro. I appreciate that, man. Shout out to my brother Clone, man. Always showing me love, man, with the hello yellow $10 on the fellow. He said, I'm early. About time you're early, guys. Dang, my boy be on CP time. You know what I'm talking about? Well, you know, I'm CP and I be on time, so tighten up. I'm very punctual. He said, I'm early. Your vids are bangers, bro. Keep dropping, man. Thank you so much, Clone. I appreciate that, my brother. Hey, my boy gave me a compliment. Oh, it's a good day. He said, and Ryan gonna get cleaned up, my boy. Yes, sir. I hope Mario Barrios beat the Austrian out of Ryan. That's how I feel. Shout out to Shamar. He said, talk to him, Doc. You feel me? You feel me? It is what it is, man. So Ill Will says, well, the Ali Act was from the IBF fraudy fighters. Yeah, the Ali Act was originally from the IBF fraudy fighters. I mean, it was about the fragmentation of all the boxing and taking advantage. But the IBF and their fraud was a big jump off to it. But we're talking about the case right now. We're not talking about the past. We're talking about what's going on right now. We're not talking about why the Ali Act was initiated. I don't think the Ali Act should be retracted or remodeled or revived, however else you want to put it. That I don't really like the TKO from what I've been seeing. You know, they're gonna make it sound good. That's what businessmen do. If you go to a used car salesman or a car salesman, they're gonna make it sound good and justify whatever price they're trying to make you pay. That doesn't mean that it is what it is. So, you know, the IBF, absolutely, they weren't always good either, but that was a long time ago. We're talking about what's happening now. And what's happening now is that they're trying to paint it like, oh, Terrence Crawford didn't want to pay the fees. No, IBF got paid. WBA got paid. WBO got paid. It's just a WBC being greedy once again. And I want a little fast forward to you right now today. What happened today or yesterday? The news broke out, right? Another WBC bout was O'Shaquie Foster defending his 130 pound WBC belt against who? The WBC champion at featherweight 126, Stephen Fulton, right? Stephen Fulton didn't make weight, which I don't really understand that. To me, that's so unprofessional. How you move up and not make weight at a higher weight? Let me say that's crazy. Let me tell you how crazy that is, chat. The man moved up and missed weight. Nah. Y'all don't understand, man. My boy was eating that bread, that cheese, that butter. Bro, the man was eating them biscuits. How you move up and still miss weight? That's so unprofessional, man. I was really torn on who I was gonna pick between this fight, but that just gave me a little bit more. That just made it clear for me who I'm going for and who I think is gonna win, because I like Foster and I like Fulton. So, you know, I don't really have a horse in that race. I was really gonna not give a prediction, but I didn't want to seem like no punk. You know, I'm always gonna give a prediction, but I was really torn. I was like, man, it's 50-50. But what things that transpired today, which we'll get into later, made me definitively lean one way. I'm not going to disclose that right now because you got to stay tuned. We're going to go through the predictions. But the part that I want to focus on is because Stephen Fulton missed weight. You hearing me, Shamar? You hearing me, Shamar? Because Stephen Fulton missed weight, right? He is no longer eligible, even in a victory of O'Shaquie Foster. Even if he beats O'Shaquie Foster, Shamar, he cannot win a belt, right? We know that. That's one of the consequences of being unprofessional and undisciplined and not making weight, right? We know that, right? You feel me? But what did Mauricio Solomon and the WBC do? They said, oh, Fulton, he can't make weight, So he can't get the 130-pound belt anymore in a win or a loss. So guess what we did? Because he came in heavy, we just gonna make this for a WBC interim belt at 135. Let me drop a bomb on him, chat. They said that the 126 WBC pound champion didn't make weight at 130. He's ineligible to win the WBC belt at 130. So we're going to give him an interim belt. You think that's out of altruism? Do you think they're being altruistic? Or do you think that once again, WBC President Mauricio Suleiman showed his fat, greedy behind face and saying that, hold on, I'm going to get paid regardless. Because when they get somebody to hold a belt, they tax them again. So he's like, hold on. We ain't gonna miss none of this money. If Stephen Fulton wins, we still gonna get a check because now it's for a WBC inter belt at 135. So while you talk trash about the other sanctioned bodies, this is why I always applaud the IBF, because the IBF doesn't care if you are a popular fighter. They don't care if you're a foreign fighter. They don't care if you're a smaller fighter, a heavy fighter, a black fighter, a white fighter, a brown fighter, a male fighter, a female fighter. They don't care, bro. They're going to give you your shot that you earned through the rankings. You know what this does? Not only is it unfair to Oshiki Foster, because it seems like you're rewarding Stephen Fulton for being undisciplined. It's also unfair to the people that are ranked in WBC right now that you are skipping. You would say number one is Andy Cruz. Andy Cruz ranked number one for the WBC belt, right? That's okay because he's fighting for the IBF belt against Raymond Murataya. So you'd be like, okay, but he's getting another belt opportunity anyway. That's cool. No, it's not cool because ranked number 2 is Ricardo Nunez. And you would say, who's Ricardo Nunez? I don't really know Ricardo Nunez either. Okay, I'm lying. I know him a little bit, but he's not somebody that we would care about, right? But because we don't care about him, we're not going to have an outrage. Because he doesn't have a big promotional backing, there's not going to be any outrage. But Ricardo Nunez is getting leapfrogged for the winner of Stephen Fulton and Oshiki Foster because Stephen Fulton decided to miss weight and because Mauricio Suleiman wants to get paid anyway. And you can say, oh, it's a good business move. I'm not saying it's not a bad business move, but it's not a good move as far as integrity goes. And there's some people that speak on the integrity or the lack of integrity like it's okay in boxing. We're going to address that too. Give me a second. But they're saying like, oh, okay, number 2 is Ricardo Nunez. We don't care about him. Number 3 is Javier Herrera. We don't care about him. Or in fact, we don't care about anybody else that's ranked through the WBC because we're just going to give it to somebody who was undisciplined. Just like they're giving Ryan Garcia an opportunity to fight for a WBC belt against Mario Barrios, where Ryan Garcia is not only coming off of a loss to Rolly Romero. By the way, that was for the WBA belt that he lost. So he already had an opportunity at another belt. The WBA president, Gilberto Mendoza, is coming off of a loss, right? And he's coming off of a suspension for habitually using racial slurs. The ban was just uplifted for the WBC because Ryan Garcia was saying racial slurs and being anti-Islamic and anti-black, and they just uplifted the ban and he gets an immediate title shot with who? The WBC champion, Mario Barrios. Why do you think that is, chat? So before you sit there and tell me that, oh, Bud should have paid the sanctioning fees because it's the rules, the WBC doesn't exactly follow their own rules, do they? No, they don't really abide by their own rules that they set themselves. So if you can't even adhere to your own guidelines, rules, or regulations that you set, why would you expect anybody else to? Because it seems like you circumvent your own rules whenever it's convenient for you to get a little bit of Skrilla in your pocket. That's just not right, chat. I mean, I don't know how else to show you. I don't know how else to show you. Like, it's just, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. Every single time, like, you can't tell people, you can't get mad at people for not abiding by the rules that you set when you don't always abide by them yourselves. Rules are the rules, but it seems like the rules aren't the rules unless it's convenient for you. You see what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. If you can't see that, then I don't know what else to tell you, bro. Shout out to Joaquin in the building, Lone Star in the building. We got a Cool Breeze in the building. I'm very serious. Cool. It's crazy. Cool Breeze. It's crazy. It's crazy. Sir in the building. It's crazy, bro. My bad if I'm missing anybody, man. Yeah, it's wild, man. Joaquin said, but that's different. Turkey told Bud pick a side, but that's no. I'm not. So I'm not saying that all these things are the same. What I'm saying is these are just examples of them not abiding by the rules. It doesn't have to be the same rules that they're abiding by. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't. I'm just giving you the examples, plethora of examples of the WBC who set their own rules. They don't even follow their own rules, is what I'm telling you. You see what I'm saying? So when you say, oh, Bud should have paid, well, I mean, you could be ignorant to the fact that he paid the other sanctioned bodies if you want to. And you could be ignorant to the fact that they did the same thing to Dimitri Bivol by stripping him unceremoniously in a quick amount of time. And you could be ignorant to the fact that they also gave Canelo as much time as he wanted to not fight the people he was supposed to fight. Once again, follow the rules. And you could also be ignorant to the fact that they gave Ryan Garcia ample amount of chances when he doesn't deserve it. But you shouldn't omit the fact that they're doing this for Stephen Fulton when he didn't even make weight. So what I'm saying is you got to see the pattern. If you don't want to see it, then you don't want to see it. But don't make it seem like, oh, these guys are just good and they're just so altruistic and they're doing this because of love for Stephen Fulton. No, they're doing it for money in their pocket. That's why they have the intern belts. That's why they have regular belts. That's why they have super belts. That's why they have franchise belts. That's why they have freedom belts. That's why they... That's why they have all these belts, bro. It's tax, more tax. I'm not saying not to get paid, but what I'm saying is we have to open our eyes. And I'm gonna tell you that there's a few types of people out there, chat. There's a couple types of people out there, chat. There's the people that will say, oh, it's okay that Ricardo Nunez gets skipped because we don't know him, right? It's okay, nobody knows him. Javier Herrera could get skipped, nobody knows him. Yeah, we don't know them, and that's why they need the opportunity so we can know them. That's why it is important for people to have international belts or regional belts. Because, yes, when you're Terrence Bud Crawford or you're Saul Canelo Alvarez or you're David Benavidez, the belts don't mean much because you already are established at this point of your career. But when you're Javier Herrera, when you're Elijah Garcia, when you're a Lewis Crocker, who just became the IBF champion, that means a lot because now their name has some clout behind it, has some weight to it. Now they can justify themselves asking for more money and having their earning potential increased. So when you take away these opportunities from Javier Herrera, when you take away these opportunities or never give the opportunity for Ricardo Nunez to be an interim champion, then that is hurting the sport and effectively hurting it as a whole because you are completely... It's like you're putting a ceiling on the growth of these other fighters that are relatively unknown. You're not giving them the opportunity to even become known. You see what I'm saying? That's just one type of person who say we don't care because we don't know them. There's another type of person that sees this information and they'll be like, oh, this is nothing new. We have a couple people like that in the chat right now too. Oh, this is nothing new. This always happens. Bitch, people have always been robbing banks. Robbing banks is nothing new. They used to rob people when they used to ride stagecoaches. Does that mean it's right? Does that mean we shouldn't do anything about it? No one's saying that this is unprecedented. Nobody's saying that this is a unique event, a one-off. This is the first time it's ever happened. No one is saying that, but we're saying that it's my job. Well, I'm saying it's my job as a boxing connoisseur, as a pugilist enthusiast, somebody who likes boxing, and I do believe in the integrity and the sanctity and the purity of the sport. And I think it's very important to uphold those things. Uphold those standards, not just from a fan standpoint, not just from an administrative standpoint, not just from a participant standpoint, but just in every aspect of the fight game, even when you're just observing it, because a well-oiled machine and something that operates off of integrity is going to be easier for somebody to get behind because it's going to be more trustworthy, right? It should stand for something. So when people say, oh, this is nothing new, it's like, yeah, it's nothing new, but if we don't talk about it, then we are also part of the problem if we're coming at it from a content creating media standpoint space. Because if I'm quiet about it, right, then nobody will realize that Javier Herrera got skipped over, Ricardo Nunez would get skipped over. I'm not saying that this is the first time it's happened, and I'm damn sure not saying it's the last time that it's going to happen. But if we don't talk about it, then it won't be brought to the forefront. Nobody would speak on it. Nobody would enact change. That's hard. That's how you get the ball rolling, is to speak on it. So when people say, oh, yeah, they get on their high horse and act all pompous. Oh, this is nothing new. This no crap. There's been a lot of things that happen that are nefarious in nature in the past that isn't necessarily new. But if we don't speak on it, then how are we going to fix it and address it? If we don't acknowledge it, then how will it get fixed? At some point, you're part of the problem. right? There's a whole bunch of things that there's a whole bunch. If I walk down and slap an old lady, I wouldn't be the first person in history to slap an old lady. But should you not do something about it because an old lady got slapped in 1862? What? It's still wrong. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, when we speak on it, it'll become less, not less prevalent, but it'll become less frequent. That's the point of addressing issues, is to fix them. So I don't even understand when people come about it. Oh yeah, this is nothing new. It's been happening. This is the old days with Sugar Ray Robinson and before that with Joe Louis and Jack Dempsey and Willie Pepper. Who cares? No crap. We're not saying it's new. It happened last year too, but hopefully it'll happen less. Therefore, things like the Ali Act were enacted because fighters were getting taken advantage of, so it'll happen less. That's why they make provisions and they make steps and they do certain things to mitigate, not eliminate, but mitigate things that are bad in nature occurring as frequently as they do. So just because it's nothing new doesn't mean that we should ignore it. Those things are not synonymous. In fact, we should be more outraged that it's nothing new. Huh? So those are two different. So we already talked about the people that say, oh, who cares? We don't know the people that they're skipping. We talked about the people that say, oh, this is nothing new. And let's talk about the third type of people who say, oh, we can't do anything about it. We may not be able to do anything about it today, right? But you better believe that things are being done about it. You know what's being done about it? Turkey al Sheikh is being done about it. That's what's being done about it. Zuffa boxing is what's being done about it. Dana White seeing a fresh hole to squeeze into. Boxing is being done about it. So as you can see, they're using this to their advantage to now speak on one of the things that are wrong with having a fragmented boxing. A boxing sport. So this is what they're going to use to try to push change. And I don't like it because, like I said, I'm not a fan of the Zuffa boxing effort, but I want to use this to show that this is an example of people doing something about it. Whether you agree with it or not, this is their effort to do something about it. It's like when there's a new thing, right? Before Papa John's, it was just Domino's and Pizza Hut, right? And then Papa John said, okay, bet we see a void in the pizza market. We're going to get in and do something about it and be a major player. Before there was a merger of the CBA and the ABA, whatever it was, before that, they had two separate leagues. And then the NBA came and now it's one league, which is exactly what Zuff was trying to do. They're trying to come in and make one boxing league. So people are doing something about it, right? I'm not saying that it's the right thing. But what I'm saying is that there's always going to be stuff that's done about it. And you might not be able to do something about it in the immediate future or the imminent future, but eventually you will. Hopefully it's just that you're doing something good about it and not bad. Hopefully we're not going backwards. But that's even with MMA, speaking of UFC, right? I mean, Dana White, look at the UFC. The UFC is not the first or the only MMA league, right? You had the one league, right? What's it called? Like One Championships. You have Bellator. You had Pride fighting. You had all types of MMA fighting. The UFC saw a void and they came in and they made their own league and they were the best ones at it. So that's why people are so threatened by the Dana White proposition of this new league. Was, like I said, which I don't like it. I feel like that model is not good for boxing. Hell, I can argue it's not even good for UFC, but this is what they're going to use, and they're going to use this to fuel the fire of the need of their own boxing league. It's all hand in hand. So people are doing something about it, and we can do something about it. We may not be able to eliminate it right now, but we can talk about it. Shout out to Errol Spence. Errol Spence talked about it when he was about to fight Terrence Crawford. You don't remember that of that press conference where Errol Spence was like, hey, hold on. Let me turn my mic on. Turn my mic on. He said, hey, my mic off now. Turn my mic back on. He said, why do we pay all these sanctioning fees? Where does the money go? Errol Spence said that, right? So now Terrence Crawford wanted to know, why am I paying all this extra money? And I'm assuming that Mauricio Solomon didn't justify why he's charging him more, why he feels it's necessary to charge him more than the WBA, WBO, or IBF. He didn't feel like he owed them an explanation. He just wanted to charge him more. And he probably doesn't even know where his money's going. So I don't have a problem with Terrence Crawford responding like he did. Like I said, I don't like the timing. But once again, I don't blame Terrence Crawford for the timing, because if Mauricio Solomon didn't try to put Terrence Crawford on blast for his own greedy reasons, then none of this would have transpired like this, because it's very unprofessional to be pocket watching. Mauricio Solomon was pocket watching. Who the heck speculates how much money the fighter made? right? Why are you speculating? That's something that should be handled in closed doors. And even Frank Smith said that when Mauricio Suleiman played the same crap against Dimitri Bivol, but it's not Dimitri Bivol this time, it's Terrence Crawford. And what's Terrence Crawford, chat? It's always easy to make the target an American fighter, particularly a black American fighter. It just seems like fewer people come to their defense, because Frank Smith jumped out and defended Dimitri Bivol. So did Eddie Hearn. But now Eddie Hearn is singing a different tune when it was a very similar situation when Dimitri Bivol got stripped. I'm just saying. Dimitri Bivol didn't even have an opportunity to say, hey, I'm going to fight David Benavidez or not. The man had back surgery. He got... The man got stripped mid-back surgery, bro. He was in the operation room when he got stripped, man. He was in the OR, man. They had his back opened up, man, when he got stripped, man. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but you get what I'm saying? The man hasn't fought nobody yet. Ain't no telling who he would have fought. They ain't given the opportunity, but you know who they did give opportunity? Canelo. You know why they give Canelo opportunity? Because Canelo, his 3% is a little bit bigger than Bivol's 3%, a little bit bigger than Bud's 3%, is a little bit bigger than Benavidez's 3%. So, you know, so like I said, so the point of what I'm saying is that we can't get mad. I mean, you can get mad. You can do whatever you want, but you shouldn't focus on what they want you to focus on. Bud is not the problem. Canelo was not the problem. Benavidez was not the problem. Bivol is not the problem. The problem is that nobody follows the rules, even Mauricio Suleiman. Go read their rule book. They have a clause for a clause for a clause to circumvent this rule that they set at their own discretion. Bro, go read I read these rule books, bro. And sis, I read these rule books. So they have clauses on clauses. So they don't even abide by their own rules. So how can you expect somebody else to? You see what I'm saying? They do things when it's convenient to them. You know, that's just how it goes, man. I decided to set from Pet, big member in the building. My guy Jay Sharp in the building said Dana White slithering his Proud Boy fan base into the boxing sphere. What's up, now? What up with it? What's up, Wago? My guy Jay Sharp, how you doing? Joaquin said it's gonna take me 30 years to pay off my crib, which is $280K. That's expensive. Just hold the belt, bro. You feel me? But like I said, Joaquin, I don't want to make it come off. I'm not defending Terrence Bud Crawford. Hey, good afternoon, my brother George. Shout out to you, man. I'm not defending Terrence Bud Crawford. It sounds like I'm just telling you the truth. People are saying, like Oscar De La Hoya and Eddie Hearn and Terrence Bud Crawford's detractors, they're saying that Terrence Crawford didn't pay the fees, but he's parading with the belt. That is not the whole story. If he didn't pay the fees, plural, right? Plural fees, right? Fees is plural. If they said, let me tell you what, if Oscar De La Hoya, if Oscar De La Panti and Golden Shower Promotions or Snake Slytherin Eddie Hearn would have said he didn't pay the fee, as it added further specificity and said he didn't pay the WBC fee, no problem. They're not saying that. They're saying he didn't pay the fees. No, he paid the fees. He just didn't pay that fee. So if he was really trying to hold out on the paper, then why would he pay the WBA? Well, how could Gilberto Mendoza, the president of WBA, is not complaining? How could Daryl Peoples, the president of IBF, is not complaining? How could President Gustavo Oliveri of the WBO is not complaining? Because he paid them. They agreed to a certain amount in which he did pay. And he says it himself. He didn't pay the WBC because the WBC wanted extra bread without providing extra explanation. Sorry, you're not going to tax me, cousin. Why are there fees to begin with? Now, I do think that there should be fees because it is a business. Like, that's what I'm saying. Please don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that Terrence Crawford or nobody else should pay. No, that's part of the rules. But what I'm highlighting is that the WBC doesn't abide by their own rules. And I gave you multiple situations as recent as the fight that's going down tomorrow with O'Shaquie Foster and Stephen Coolboy Fulton. There's no way that this fight should be for an interim belt at 135 when the fight is at 130 because the guy at 126 didn't make the weight at 130. What the heck does that have to do with 135? If someone could enlighten me, please. I'm here. I'll wait, baby. Let me say that again. Stephen Fulton versus O'Shaquie Foster is now for a WBC interim belt at 135. But they were scheduled to fight at 130. And the reason why it's for an interim belt at 135 is because not the guy at 130, but the guy that's currently a WBC champion at 126 missed weight. Make it make sense. make it make sense. The only thing that makes sense is because they made it for a, so the only reason why they did that is because they want to be able to charge somebody a fee at the end of this big fight. That's it. So what you realize that a lot of these gripes and complaints from these administrative bodies like the WBC, once you realize that it's about money and less about merit, then you have less to complain about. Shout out to Zamrock. He said the C in WBC stands for corruption. Come on now. And like I said, I'm not, like I said, and let me address what Clone said. Why are there fees to begin with? Well, they do have to operate the sanctioned bodies. You know, they do things like make the ranking. They determine the rankings. You know, what else they determine? They determine what fighter is eligible for what fight, and you know, they organize some things and stuff like that. And the recognition is enough to set fighters up in a position to really benefit from the fruits of their labor in the sport. So they should be, I'm not saying that there should not be a fee. The point of what I'm saying is that fighters should not be taken advantage of, because things like the Ali Act is in place for fighters to not get taken advantage of, and it's also there for people to disclose where the funds go. So when Errol Spence asks where my money's going, my bad, I had my window open, chat, so because it's cool outside. My bad for that car if y'all heard that. But what fighters like Errol Spence ask, where's my money going? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? I mean, Mauricio Suleiman just came out publicly and questioned how much money Terrence Crawford acquired, right? Like I said, so this is not the first time these things have happened. I think that, you know, Mauricio Suleiman is just, I think he's a little thirsty right now because, you know, Turkey Al-Sheikh didn't even allow his belt to be on stage for the Terrence Bud Crawford and Canelo fight. So, you know, but it's easier to attack Terrence Crawford than it is to attack Turkey Al-Sheikh. That's what it's really about, bro. They really want to attack Turk, but they know Turk got the bankroll, so they a little quiet. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to my brother TSO Bodega Ty in the building. They need them fees, man. Shout out to Ty. He said they need them fees. Sent from Pet says, my guy, big member in the building. He said the belts are temporary, that they don't really matter. I disagree. I think the belts matter. You know me. I always love unification fights. That's why I'm so mad at Jenabek and Limkanuli's old cheating, fat, overweight behind, weight bullying behind. I do think the belts matter, but I do think that there should be protocols that should be followed and things that should be met to ensure that the belts do mean something. But Terrence Crawford, I agree with you, Sent from Pet. The belt doesn't matter for Terrence Crawford. The belt doesn't matter for Floyd Mayweather. The belt doesn't matter for Canelo Alvarez. The belt doesn't matter for David Benavidez. It doesn't matter for Alexander Usyk because they're already established. But there was a point when they were like Lewis Crocker numbers, the IBF champion, where that belt means the most. That's why I always tell people, they say, oh, well, there's too many belts like the NABO belt, the Commonwealth belt, the regional belts. Nah, the oceanic belts. No, those are important because that's how guys that you don't hear of, like a Jin Sasaki, gets notoriety, because we may not recognize the IBO belt, but for Weizma Lima, that meant something. Because if it wasn't for the IBO belt, we probably would not even known Weizma Lima to get knocked out in one round by Jerome Boots. We may not even known Jin Sasaki to get an opportunity. Jin Sasaki was on like an 8-fight win streak, and he had a couple oceanic Asian, Southeast Asian belts. We know guys like Johnny Fisher, the Rumford Bull, because they won a couple of these domestic level belts. They're important. You see what I'm saying? So I do think that the belts are important. It gives you a goal to strive for, but the belts aren't so important that the fighter should be taken advantage of. And that's what I'm trying to emphasize, is that this was less of a case of Terrence Crawford not doing what he's supposed to do and fulfilling his championship obligations. And it's more of the WBC and President Mauricio Suleiman trying to take advantage of a fighter again, or a fight again. That's what it is, man. So shout out to my brother Tufo in the building. So yeah, man, WBC interim belts don't matter. Dylan White was an intern for 4 years, and Benavidez was an intern for 2 years. Both didn't get the challenge, right? But exactly, Zamrock. So I'm not gonna keep repeating myself, but a shout out to you, Zamrock. Yeah, it's like that's what I covered earlier on in the show, right? Like Zamrock just said, I agree with him. The interim belts don't matter, but it does matter because they get a tax on it, right? And it does matter because sometimes a guy like who's the guy that's about to get elevated as soon as the first round bell goes ding, when Lamont Roach and Pitbull Cruz are in the ring? Who's the guy that's the interim? Jazza Dickens. You don't think the interim belt matters to Jazza Dickens? Who the heck is Jazza Dickens? If I ask you, anybody in the chat, if I ask you who was Jazza Dickens, there's only one appropriate response, or you're gonna respond like this.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that? No damn well who I am. Who the fuck is that?
But we know who Jazza Dickens is because after tomorrow, he's gonna be elevated. How'd he get elevated? Because he's an interim champ. So interim champs do matter for some fighters, but I do agree with you. Overall, we shouldn't, as a fan, we should, I'm not saying don't recognize it, but we should distinguish between Subra Matias, who's a full WBC champion, and Isa Pitbull Cruz, who's an interim. We should distinguish between who was an interim champion recently, Fabio Warley, when he was a WBA interim champion, and Usyk is the full champion, or Kubrat Pulev, who's a regular champion for the WBA still, and Usyk is a full champion. Right now, Fabio Warley is no longer the WBA interim because he's a full WBO champion now, the heavyweight division. But you see what I'm saying? So they do matter. I mean, Brian Norman was an interim champion when he beat Giovanni Santillan. Nobody really knew Giovanni Santillan like that, but we knew he was an interim champion for the WBO, and we knew that Brian Norman, we didn't really care for Brian Norman. He was an underdog, but he went in there, upset the undefeated Giovanni Santillan, and became the interim champion, which eventually elevated him to the full champion once Terrence Crawford left. So that interim belt meant something to him. You see what I'm saying? So they do serve a purpose. I'm not gonna say they don't matter, but you could argue, and I would agree if you argue this, that there's too many belts to keep track of, and it's just an effort of greed because the WBC wants money. Which is not bad, you know what I'm saying? But just make sure that you go about it the proper way and don't try to villainize or demonize Terrence Bud Crawford, who's an outstanding example, the representative for the sport of boxing, just like Dimitri Bivol. They violated both of them. They violated Bivol and Crawford. Come on, man. Y'all see this, man. Y'all got to see this, man. Come on, man. Stop playing. Shout out to my brother, Doc Capart. Say, yo, what's good? What up, B? Shout out to Doc Capar. You see the gold glove in the chat. What's good, my brother? Shamar said, WBC, we be crooks fast. I know there's a T in it, but you know, hey, I feel you, Shamar. No, you right. WBC, we be crooks. Just take the thought out. You know what I'm saying? We from the hood, man. We be crooks. They be crooks. That's a fact, man. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact, man. That's a fact. Jay Sharp said if it was Canelo, Suleiman or her would have had would have hit him with the pardon for the POTUS. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, everybody, hey Boosie everybody getting pardoned. You know what I'm talking about? Hey man, they'll pardon the fee and have him honored at the Super Bowl. You feel me? Shout out to Doc Capart in the building, dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter. So that's all I'm saying, man. To put a full wrap on this part of the show, I'm just trying to emphasize that you could be mad at Bud, but be mad for the right reasons. Recognize everything. You know, don't let people pull a smoke screen over your head, because if it was really about the rules, another example of the WBC rules not really being adhered to, what part of the rules does Francisco Rodriguez get an immediate rematch after cheating Galal Yafai? You remember that, right? That was also the WBC. I'm just giving you another example of where they just disregard the rules, right? Mauricio Suleiman in the WBC granted Francisco Rodriguez an immediate rematch with Galal Yafai, and Rodriguez is the one that cheated. He's the one that tested positive for the PEDs. The only reason why they didn't go through with the rematch is because of the public outcry and the outrage. They thought nobody was going to notice because the fight was at 112. Nobody pays attention to gosh dang flyweights. Nah, we watching, bro. So because of the uproar is why they no longer granted him, the cheater, Francisco Rodriguez, an opportunity at another belt. But you see that they didn't learn their lesson, because they're giving another cheater, a racist weight bully, overweight cheater, an opportunity at another belt with the WBC and Ryan Garcia.
We do not let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes. That's all.
So you could go on the other channels and pretend like you don't see it, but over here I'm gonna shine the light in your face. I'll make sure that you see it. You know, you ain't gotta be mad at it, but you definitely not gonna be oblivious to it when you're over here. We gonna learn you today. That's a fact, bro. So you know, I just think that the like I said, all these sanctioned bodies, I'm not saying that any of them are pure. I'm just saying that some of them are less pure than others. Some of them are more pure than others. Some of them have a tendency to do the right thing more than others. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, you know, did I agree with the IBF stripped Alexander Usyk right after the Tyson Fury rematch? No, I thought it was a little premature. I thought they could have had the rematch. Sorry, not after the rematch, but after the first fight. I thought it was a little premature. I thought they should have let the rematch be for Undisputed again, because that was the first time in a quarter century that we had a heavyweight Undisputed champion. So I thought it would have been appropriate that the rematch would have been for Undisputed as well. But the IBF, they abided by their rules and said, okay, Usyk, you're not going to fight the mandatory. You're stripped. Just like they're going to enforce Michael Eifert, who's Dimitri Bivol's IBF mandatory, to get a shot. It doesn't matter if he's backed by the United Nations. It doesn't matter if he's backed by Eddie Hearn and Turki Al-Sheikh and the rest of the TKO Saudi Arabia conglomerate, Riyadh season conglomerate. They go by the rules. That's why Karen Chukazan got a fight with Jaron Boots Ennis, even though you didn't know his Ukrainian behind. Right? So it is what it is. Oh, WBA, they're not too much better, right? With Naoya Inoue, right? Naoya Inoue, the WBA, they allowed Naoya Inoue to skip MJ Akhmadaliev for so long. MJ Akhmadaliev filed for litigation to get his title opportunity. So, and that doesn't mean that I'm saying that Naoya Inoue's ducking. I'm not saying that Naoya Inoue was ducking because he was scared. I'm not saying that he was ducking because he was scared. I'm saying that he didn't feel like he had to fight him and he didn't get stripped. But why didn't he get stripped? Because the WBA recognized that Naoya Inoue is essentially the entire Japanese boxing economy by himself. So it was advantageous for them to not appease MJ Akhmadaliev and appease the monster Inoue, because he was the cash cow in those divisions. So if you don't believe me with that one, I'll give you another example of them not enforcing their mandatory. Who's been the mandatory for the WBA, the welterweight division? That would be Shakram Giyashev, the Uzbekistan, who nobody knows, right? No one's gonna get mad if anybody, another Uzbekistan, right? I think he's from Uzbekistan, and so is MJ Akhmadaliev is Uzbek as well, right? So no one's gonna really pay attention to them robbing the Uzbekistan fighter who's relatively unknown of their opportunity at the title. But they're gonna notice if it's Naoya Inoue, you know, they're gonna notice if it's Naoya Inoue or Canelo getting slighted. They're not gonna notice if it's MJ Akhmadaliev or Shakram Giyashev or Lewis Crocker, whoever it is that doesn't have a name. But the WBA, Shakram Giyashev has been the mandatory for so long. He was the mandatory before Rolly Romero was even the champion. He was the mandatory for the WBA when Eimantas Stanionis had the belt, the Lithuanian undefeated champion. He took step-aside money in order for Jaron Boots Ennis to have his unification with Stanionis, but then they promised him that he would be next. But instead of him being next, what did they do? They suddenly made Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero an interim WBA belt bout. And then once somebody was once somebody vacated the division, that somebody was Jaron Boots Ennis after he beat Stanionis because he had the WBA and the IBF belt. Once he went to 154, like they knew he was going to do, they conveniently made that fight for the interim belt. You don't remember? That's how it went historically. I'm very observant and I have a very good memory. I have a very good account of these things. So after they knew Jaron Boots Ennis declared his move to 154, they suddenly retroactively made Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero for the WBA interim belt. And they were hoping that Ryan Garcia was going to win so they could elevate him to the full belt holder. Why? Because he's a bigger draw than Shakram Giyashev. But Rolly Romero upset the apple cart and he won. And then now Shakram Giyashev dedicated his last win against Ocampo for his daughter that was deceased. And he promised his daughter, his late daughter, rest in peace, my condolences to the Giyashev family, that he would be a champion. So not only did the WBA promise him that, which they know, he also promised his daughter that he would utilize his opportunity to get a belt and fulfill his dream of being a belt holder. They know about that promise, and they're still going to make Rolly Romero versus Manny Pacquiao. Why are they doing that? Because Rolly Romero versus Manny Pacquiao is a bigger fight than Rolly Romero versus Shakram Giyashev. So it's all for the money. You see what I'm saying? It's less about the doing right by the fighters and it's more about the money. And I'm not saying that that doesn't make sense. It makes sense from a business standpoint. Yeah. But just because it makes sense doesn't mean that we should be quiet about it. That's why I talk about it. People get mad at me. I don't care. You can't whoop me. Not a boxing fan or a boxing man. Like one of the presidents of the sanctioning bodies. They can't whoop me. So I'm going to speak on things that I see and I think is wrong. And so I'm going to say it. So it is what it is, which is just the WBC and President Mauricio Solomon, because of their ill-advised timing, they're on the hot seat right now. But they a lot of sanctioning bodies do it. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of sanctioning bodies do it. MAW was good. Was good. Is Doc calling the Apataya fight late night tonight? I don't know, man. I was thinking about it, man, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that, James, because I was reading some things about the Apataya fight not being available everywhere, man. I heard that it's only a domestic fight. Is that true? Like, it's only gonna be broadcasted domestically. So I don't know, man. If I can find it, I might. Yeah, I'm not going, clone. I'm not going. Shout out to my brother Oscar Perez in the building. Big member in the building. Me, Hermano Carnal in the building. Yeah, bro. I'm not going, clone. I'm not going, bro. I'm not going, bro. You're gonna hear me, bro. Cause this is like I said, it's okay if you want to not. If you say, oh, well, yeah, they should pay their fees, they should do this, yes. But we should also hold the people that set the rules accountable as well. It's always easy to target the fighter. Like I said with Cinnamon. Cinnamon is one of my favorite fighters. I never say that Cinnamon ducked David Benavidez. Do I get mad at people saying that he did? Nah, because I understand how you would see that. But if you know the rules and you pay attention, then you know that Benavidez was never the ordered mandatory. And if he was the ordered mandatory and Canelo didn't fulfill his championship obligations as fighting the guy that they mandate. That's the mandatory mandate. Yeah, the guy that they mandated. If the champion doesn't fight the guy that's their mandatory, they get stripped. But Canelo never got stripped. It's not the fighter's responsibility to strip themselves. It's the sanctioning body who sets the rules, who enforces the rules to make sure the fighters abide by the rules. So if Canelo really didn't fight David Benavidez and he was the mandatory and he got away with it, it's not Canelo's fault, nor is it David Benavidez's responsibility to ensure that the champion fights him. It's Mauricio Solomon's fault. Oh, you don't believe me? Then how come Bivol got stripped so fast when he didn't abide by the order for him to fight Benavidez? He was stripped faster than he could blink. Like I said, the man was still in surgery. He ain't even reached the operating room yet before he got stripped for David Benavidez. They ain't even fully diagnosed what he had yet. The man was still hollering about his neck and his back when he got stripped. So you tell me, smart guy and smart girl, smart lady and smart lad, you tell me, if it's all about the rules and following the rules, why was Terrence Crawford stripped so fast? Why was Bivol stripped so fast and Canelo wasn't stripped at all? Because then you know that the only logical answer that it's about them greenbacks, that greenery in your scenery, that bread, that cheese, that butter.
These biscuits.
You feel me? So like I said, man, so before you take sides, just make sure you tell the whole story, or you at least try to dig, or come to this channel and I'll do the digging for you. You know what I'm saying? I'll pull out the Caleb Plant shovel, the Caleb Plant Anthony Durrell shovel, and I'll dig that hole and let you know what's going on down there below the surface. Because a lot of people don't like to scratch below the surface. They don't like to get to the meat and potatoes. They just want to take a side of somebody that they already don't like, or they have a negative disposition about, or perspective on. And so if it sounds good, it's good. No, bro, you got to listen to what the whole story is, bro. Terrence Crawford literally tells you. And if you look at, if he really didn't pay none of the fees, how come Mauricio Solomon's the only one complaining about not getting paid? Then you find out that the truth is that he wanted more than everybody else. And if you know, historically, traditionally, it's 3%, right? For all four sanctioning bodies. And then on top of that, Mauricio Solomon tried to make it seem like, oh, we only wanted 0.6%. Yeah, because you divided 3% by 5. If you divide 3% by 5, it'll be 0.6%, right? So they probably agreed to an amount that was, I don't know, that was achieved by similar methods, right? They probably all sat in. I don't know. This is me speculating now, because I'll tell you when I'm speculating. I'm assuming that it's not coincidental that he said, oh, we only wanted 0.6% instead of our normal 3. And coincidentally, that 3% is dividing by 5. The 5 would be the ring. The other one would be the IBF. The other one would be the WBA. The other one would be the WBO. The other one would be the WBC. 5 entities. That's how he got 0.6. 3 divided by 5 is 0.6. I'm assuming that they probably did a similar method, but they probably did a much lower number. Like maybe instead of 3% divided by 5, maybe they agreed to doing 2% divided by 5 or 1% divided by 5. And the IBF and President Daryl People said, that's good for me. The WBA President Gilberto Mendoza said, that's good for me. The WBO and President Gustavo Oliveira said, that's good for me. But who said it wasn't good for them? Mauricio Suleiman. Mauricio Suleiman, bro. I mean, it's easy. It's easy, bro. So if you don't see that, because you don't want to see, man. You could bring a thirsty horse to water. You can't force that mare to drink. That's what they say, right? You can't force it to drink. You could bring a donkey to the water hole. You can't force that ass to drink. You feel me? So shout out to my brother TSO Time, man. He said F the UFC, not the actual fighters. Depends on the sanctioned body. Right. It depends on the sanctioned body as well. So yeah, man. So that's what I acquired from listening to the whole Terrence Crawford talk. That's what I acquired from listening to the whole entire situation. Even Mauricio Suleiman said it himself. If you listen to what he said, and then the funny thing about that, right? We're all mad about the TKO boxing league, which I don't like it. But what did Mauricio Suleiman say about Terrence Crawford? He said that Terrence Crawford will no longer be able to fight any WBC ranked fighters. Doesn't that sound familiar? He said Terrence Crawford will no longer be eligible to fight any WBC ranked fighters.
What?
But I thought we didn't like that idea because we didn't want the Zuffa Boxing to do the same thing. Remember when Dana White said, hey, you're only going to be competing for our belts. We're not going to care about the other belts. And we were like, no, he's isolating himself. No, it's not good for the sport. No, it's prioritizing our belts and the Ring Magazine belts and devaluing the other belts. No, we don't like that. Mauricio Suleiman just did the same thing. So when you really pay attention, bro, you will see that these guys are more similar than they are different. They're more alike than they vary. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so they just stand for different things. Like I said, I prefer to stay with the WBC, WBA, WBO, IBF as opposed to going to the Zuffa Boxing. And what are they making? The United Boxing Organization, the UBO, whatever it is. I prefer the traditional way, but let's not make it seem like, oh, these guys are all for the fighters, are all for the betterment of the fighters, the betterment of the sport. No, they're not, bro. They're all for their own, trying to get a piece of the pie as well. And a lot of times they're trying to get more than they actually deserve, to be honest. So you just gotta look at the full thing, man. Look at the full thing. It is what it is, man. Shout out to my brother Tufo, man. Shout out to my brother Tufo, man. Tufo renewing his membership for 8 months, man. He said he's not going nowhere, committed to the stream for another 30 days.
I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. The show goes on.
Shout out to my brother Tufo, man. Big 8 months, man. He said, tell Ty quit ducking. Ty out here ducking? Let me find out the DBT chap is out here ducking, man. Out here ducking the square ups, man, and the squabbles, man. Hell nah, man. I can't believe that. I can't believe that. Shout out to my guy Ty. He said receiving $47 million of sanctioning fees tax-free and only contributing $17,000 in funds to retire boxers. What sanctioning body am I? The WBC. You see what I'm saying? So unless you know where this money is going, I'm gonna need you to chill out on your outrage because it's pretty much fake. You're probably just mad because you already don't like Terrence Crawford. So this is just another way for you to pile on. Terrence Crawford didn't do, I'm not saying that he couldn't have paid, but he didn't do anything that was unjustified, nothing that you wouldn't do. Because if somebody slapped a fee on you and you had to pay similar entities and similar administrative fees for other bodies that had the same percentage rate as you do. If someone said, hey man, I want you to pay me more for no reason that's disclosed, for some undisclosed reason you want me to pay you more, you would also say you're crazy and get out my face and probably throw a couple F-bombs and expletives in there too. So I don't think that Terrence Crawford really did anything wrong. So yeah, if you, in principle, you should pay your fees that you have to pay that are agreed upon. But if there was no agreed upon fee, then it is what it is. If you listen to Terrence Crawford, he said that. He said that y'all tried to contact me or didn't even try to contact me. You didn't even bring me the belt. You had your representatives do all that. So yeah, it's just crazy, man. It's crazy, man. We had Boxer Wiz in the building, big member in the building. But check this out, man. Check this out, man. Hey, so we're going to move on from that, bro. I'm going to have some people call in. But before I have people call in, I'm going to give my predictions of the card tomorrow, man. You know, and it's going to be up there for members only. You know how I do. I give my predictions and I put it up for the members only. You know, I'm pretty good with my percent. You know what I'm saying? My batting average pretty good now. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to making these picks, I'm not saying put your money on it. But, hey, you want to make some money, stick with the doc. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you bet at your own risk. Because, hey, I haven't bet on a fight in a while. I'm really slapping myself because there's a couple. I'd have made a whole lot of money if I would have kept betting, but I just haven't really been betting lately. I need to get back to betting. I can't remember the last fight I bet on, but I know I won something. You know, my team. But we did pretty good. We called the Francisco Rodriguez we called the Bam Rodriguez Francisco Martinez fight down to the round for the stoppage. I got that 100% right. I'm trying to think of the last major fight. We got Brian Norman wrong. I picked Brian Norman. Devin Haney won. So we're wrong on that. We got Benavidez right. I said it was going to be a stoppage, so we got that right. But I said 9 round. I think he stopped him in 7 rounds. And then we also got Abdullah Mason right 100% because we said Abdullah Mason by unanimous decision. He won by unanimous decision. So we did very well if you are a betting man or woman yourself. So let's get to this card right here on these predictions, man. So I ain't even really go in on Janabek too. Oh, I also want to say that too. Before I switch to that next topic. Janabek and Limkanuli, the weight bully and cheater, right? Janabek and Limkanuli, man. He almost, I'm not gonna say he killed this card, but his fight, the 3-belt unification was a fight that I was looking forward to the most. Don't forget to smack that like button if you ain't smacked that like button already. Shame on you. Smack yourself, then smack the like button. It's free. You see what I'm saying? But Janabek is a 160-pound middleweight WBO IBF champion, right? Some people call him the boogeyman. And this man doesn't have anybody notable on his resume, right? His best win is probably Stephen Butler or Denzel Bentley. And Janabek Alimkanuli, he popped dirty for a PED. And the PED just so happened to do quite a few things. You know, it increases your endurance, reduces your fatigue, increases your recovery rate, increases the oxygen in your blood. And it also, in addition to all those things and other things, it also helps you lose weight more efficiently and effectively. And what does Janabek have a history of? He has a history of of missing weight. So much so that he literally had fights canceled because he couldn't make weight. He was hospitalized, taking extreme measures to make weight. Against Andrei Mikhailovich, that fight was canceled. It had to be rescheduled because he fainted while taking extreme measures to make weight. So he's a habitual weight bully. He's squeezing down in spandex when he should be wearing big boy draws. He's squeezing into whitey tighties when he should be wearing big boy panties. You know what I'm talking about? Get out them bloomers, bro. You should pull out them bloomers, bro. Go up to 168, 175. He's a big boy. You see what I'm saying? Squeezing down. People say, oh, he was hospitalized, doc. Well, he was hospitalized because it was self-inflicted. Because he's scared to fight at 168. It wasn't an accidental. It wasn't something he couldn't have avoided. So anyway, he's a weight bully. We already knew that. And now he's also a PED popper. Popping PEDs to fight a guy that's 42. Erislandy Lara is 42 years old.
Damn. I'm sorry.
Erislandy Lara is a decade Janabek senior. 10 years older than Janabek. And Janabek had to pop PEDs to fight him. The 42-year-old Cuban WBA 160-pound middleweight champion is 42 years old. And the guy that's a decade his junior took PEDs on top of already weight bullying to fight him. And that fight was canceled. So, you know, I just want to point that out because there was another fight that was canceled. What's my guy's name, man? I do not remember his name right now. Gosh dang. What's his name? Alexis. Anyway, Elijah Garcia's opponent was also supposed to fight on this card. I can't remember his name, chat. What's his name, chat? Somebody help me out. Alexis Gayava? Alexis Gayava. I don't remember. Hold on. Give me a second, chat. I have to look up his name. I do not remember his name. Oh, man. What's his name? I'm about to tell you right now. Alexis something. Yeah, Alexis Gayton. Alexis Gayton was supposed to fight Elijah Garcia on the same card. He also popped dirty for a PED. Ryan Garcia popped dirty for a PED. Connor Ben popped dirty for a PED. Joseph Parker cheated Fabio Worthy. Subriel Matias just popped dirty for a PED. Now, shout out to Subriel Matias. He was under the allowable limit, but he still popped dirty. Why is it in your system? You know what I'm saying? So we got to respect and shout out to the fighters that are examples of professionalism, an example of being disciplined, an example of upholding the sanctity, purity, and integrity of the sport. So yeah, we say, oh, well, Brian Norman, he is a bum. Well, you know what he didn't do? Brian Norman didn't miss weight. He lost, but he didn't miss weight. He lost to Devin Haney, but he didn't miss weight. Anthony Yard got stopped by David Benavidez. But he didn't have the fight canceled. Right? Sam Noakes got beat handily by Abdullah Mason, but he didn't trip and fall and stumble upon a PED. He didn't trip and land in a banned substance. So we need to respect some of these fighters that are actually doing the right thing and stop focusing so much on a fighter coming up on the short end of the stick. At least they're fighting. They didn't have fights canceled because they're trying to get an unfair advantage, like Janabek, like Alexis Gayton. Literally, Elijah Garcia is supposed to fight on this card tomorrow, and the fight got canceled because Gayton came in on a PED. Janabek Arizlandi Lara should be fighting in unification, but Janabek had to be removed because he came in on the PED. So shout out to Arizlandi Lara for still going on with the fight, with a fight. Shout out to Johan Gonzalez, who was already put to the side in preparation for somebody around the 160 pound middleweight division, just in case they weren't able to fight. He was already put on standby. So shout out to Johan Gonzalez for stepping up where Janabek couldn't. Shout out to Arizlandi Lara, despite being ill-prepared for this opponent because he prepared for somebody else. Shout out to him for still taking the fight. And shout out to Oshiki Foster for still taking the fight with the overweight, fat-ass Stephen Coolboy Fulton out there looking like a hungry hippo. How you move up and can't make weight, bro? Shout out to Stephen Fulton. You know I like Fulton. But bro, I'm not pulling no punches. I'm not a boxer, but I ain't pulling no punches either. You know what I'm saying? I'm a pugilist enthusiast. So you know I ain't gonna pull no punches. Stephen Fulton should be ashamed of himself. How you move up from 126 and miss weight? Bro, y'all don't think you realize how crazy that is. The man moved up and still missed weight. It's crazy. Shout out to Oshiki Foster for still taking the fight, man. Because he didn't have to. Shout out to Oshiki Foster, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, this card is still good though. Shout out to the fighters that are still fighting. Shout out to Oshiki Foster for still taking the fight, remaining 10 toes down. Hopefully it's not to his detriment. You know what I'm saying? Shame on Stephen Coolboy Fulton, but I still like him as a good fighter. But we're gonna call out that was avoided. That was a lack of discipline. That's all that is. A lack of discipline and a whole bunch of unprofessionalism. Just chill out on the turkey, bro. Put the cranberry sauce on hold, bro. Put the biscuit down, bro. Take some butter off the biscuit. Get some Diet Coke. You want to drink your soda? Get some Diet Coke. You know what I'm talking about? Get the diet joke. Get the Diet Coke like Tom Cruise on Tropic Thunder. You know what I'm saying? There's so many ways. Don't eat the yolk, bro. Don't eat the egg yolk. Just eat the egg whites, bro. Get some discipline in your life, man. I was an amateur boxer. I was only an amateur. I wasn't even getting paid. And I made weight. Why can't you? You getting paid, bro. Be a professional, man. Be a professional, man. That's all. Be a professional. But shout out to Oshiki Foster. Shout out to everybody on the card that did that. They shout out to Jesus Ramos. Shout out to Shane Mosley Jr. Shout out to who else on the card, chat? Who else on the card, man? Shout out to who else? Yeah. I know I'm missing somebody. Arizlandi Lara. Shout out to Johan Gonzalez. Shout out to the real ones, man. You know what I'm saying? Respect to the sport, respecting the fans, and you know what I'm saying? Respect to the support that you're getting. But let's get into these predictions, man. Let's move on to the next topic. Let's get into these predictions, man. So I want to start off with Jesus Ramos and Sugar Shane Mosley Jr. I think this is a good fight. Hold on, let me write this down, actually. Let me write this down. We had an hour and 14 minutes. All right, so we're gonna start off with Jesus Ramos. No, let's start off with the prelim. I'm tripping. We got my boy Frank the Ghost Martin. Shout out to Frank the Ghost Martin for making weight. Rancis Barthelemy, another old fighter, long in the tooth, made weight, no problem. Shout out to them, man. Shout out to the fighters that are doing their thing, man. They thug thizzle. You know what I'm talking about? Even when it's hard. You feel me? So Frank Martin, Frank the Ghost Martin going against Francis Barthélemy. Whew, Frank the Ghost Martin, we ain't seen him since he was knocked out asleep on the canvas by Gervonta Tank. He was knocked out asleep by Gervonta Tank Davis.
Yeah.
We ain't seen him since.
Yeah.
I thought he was still asleep.
Yeah.
But he's awake. So let's get it popping. You know me, I already said that Frank the Ghost Martin, I think he could come back and be a champion. I think he will be a champion. I think he's gonna win tomorrow. I think he's gonna start off on that rebuilding track, that bounce back track, and I think he's gonna beat Francis Barthélemy. I'm thinking this is his first time in a while, so I don't want to. And Francis Barthélemy is a tough fighter, but he is older. He's more of an old rooster than a spring chicken. I'm going with Frank Martin. I'm going with the Ghost Martin by RTD. Yeah. Referee technical decision. I think he's going to retire on his stool by 10, man. I got Frank. No, I'm going to go with 9. I got Frank in 9, man. I got Frank the Ghost Martin bouncing back on the prelims in 9 rounds. Let's see who else. Let's go to Jesus Ramos. Jesus Ramos, he's taking on Shane Mosley Jr. It's gonna be a good fight, man. Shane has a reach advantage, the height advantage, but you know Jesus Ramos, he's one of my favorite fighters too, man. Young fighter. He's been in there with Erickson Lubin, the Hammer Lubin. Erickson the Hammer Lubin apparently lost his toolbox because he ain't have the jackhammer or the sledgehammer when he fought Virgil Ortiz. He got smoked and mollywopped. It dropped and stopped in the second round. So I'm going with that was a great performance by Virgil Ortiz. But you know, I think the Erickson the Hammer Lubin win over Jesus Ramos is a little bit exaggerated about how controversial that was. I thought it was a close fight, but I thought the right person won. With that being said, I still like Jesus Ramos. That's his only loss. This is his second fight at 160 at middleweight, I believe. Yeah, it's his second fight. His first fight was against Banana Rosario, Jason Banana Rosario. I believe he stopped him too. Did he stop him? Yeah, I think he stopped him, right? Did he stop Jason Rosario? I think he did stop him. I remember watching that fight. That was a good fight. Yeah, he stopped him in the 8th round. I know I ain't tripping, boy. I'm good. But yeah, he stopped him. This is his second fight at 160. I got Jesus Ramos beating Shane Mosley, man. I think that Shane Mosley is going to be, even though he's a taller fighter, he's going to be the one that's in over his head, in my personal opinion. I think Jesus Ramos is just too tested right now, and he has some good momentum right now. And I think Shane Mosley, I like him, but I think he's going to get, Shane Mosley Jr., I think he's going to get a rude awakening. And just realize that he's going to be outmatched. Though I don't think he'll be stopped. I do think that Jesus Ramos is going to win a comfortable UD. So I got Ramos by UD over Shane Mosley Jr. Who else am I missing? Next fight: Francis Barthélemy, Frank Martin, Jesus Ramos, and Shane Mosley. Let's go to this fight, man. This fight is tough, bro. O'Shaquie Foster and Stephen Fulton, man. I did not want to. I'm not gonna lie. I did not want to make a prediction on this card. I mean on this fight because I really think that this fight is a 50-50, bro. I really think this fight is a 50-50. And I really don't know which way to go. Like, I like both of them. It's like, it's not even that like, oh yeah, I'm like, okay, bet I like this fighter more, so I can lean towards this fighter more. I like them both. I really like them both, and I don't know who to go for. But because of the events that transpired today, with O'Shaquie Foster, Stephen Fulton not making weight, it made it a little bit easier for me to make my pick, and that was the deciding factor. I'm gonna be honest with you. So for me, with the co-main, O'Shaquie Foster, I think O'Shaquie Foster, Stephen Fulton, he's a good counterpuncher. O'Shaquie Foster tends to get complacent, right? And he tends to not be active enough. I think Stephen Fulton could take advantage of that. And the fact that Stephen Fulton is not necessarily the smaller guy, right? He came in overweight. He missed weight, right? So that could possibly be in his advantage. But I think O'Shaquie Foster, he's going to be, I think he's going to be active. I think he feels a little bit more disrespected. And I think he's going to use that to have some fire. I think we're going to see him fight with the fire that he fought with in the second Robson Caseso fight, you know, and things like that. So I think it's going to be a tough fight, but I'm going with O'Shaquie Foster primarily because I do feel like Stephen Fulton, because of his lack of discipline, because he missed weight, to me, I don't think that's I don't think it, I know we're gonna say it was strategic. I don't think it was strategic, and I could be wrong. Shout out to those that are close to Stephen Fulton. Like, we got some people in the chat that, you know, a little bit closer to that camp, got some inside information. I don't. So I'm just going off of what I think. I do not think Stephen Coolboy Fulton did it intentionally. I do not think it was a strategic move. I don't think that he minds being bigger, because I think he can still work with it. I think he believes that he can still work with it. I think he thinks he's that much better than O'Shaquie Foster, but I think it's going to backfire in this case. And while I think it's a 50-50 fight, I'm going with O'Shaquie Foster by unanimous decision. So I'm going with Shock Foster by UD over Fulton. I think Fulton just compromised his endurance, man. And I think it's going to come down to who's more active. That's what I think. Shout out to my brother Dub in the building. Shout out to my brother Dub in the building. All right, so next up, man. Oh, yeah, I almost skipped Arizlandi Lara. Arizlandi Lara versus Johan Gonzalez. Johan Gonzalez is a late replacement. He's a tough guy. He has 4 losses already, and that doesn't really mean much, right? Because you'd be like, oh, Arizlandi Lara has 3. But Arizlandi Lara has 3 losses, and all 3 of them, depends on who you're asking, could really be victories for Arizlandi Lara, right? He has a split decision loss to Cinnamon. And you know, Cinnamon is my favorite fighter. I'm always say this. I thought Arizlandi Lara won because that's how impartial and unbiased I am. Shout out to my brother Doc Capehart. He's in the chat. He could attest to that. He could vouch for that. Canelo's my favorite fighter, but I'm fair. I thought Arizlandi Lara did enough to edge it out. But because Canelo's my favorite fighter, I'm not gonna gangbang against anybody who said Canelo won. Why would I be mad at that? That's all you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna fight you. You see what I'm saying? So shout out to my boy Cinnamon. But I did think that Arizlandi Lara did enough to edge it out. But he did lose by split decision. His other loss came to Jarrett Swift Hurd, who was undefeated at the time. He lost by split decision. You could argue that Arizlandi won. And another one of my favorite fighters was Paul Punisher Williams. He lost by majority decision. You could argue that a lot of people do argue that Arizlandi Lara got robbed and beat him too. So he has 3 losses, but they're all by the skin of his teeth. So you could argue that he should be undefeated, but you know, in a parallel, in another world somewhere, in an alternate universe, Arizlandi Lara is undefeated. But shout out to Arizlandi Lara. I just think Arizlandi Lara, he's quietly on a 4-fight stoppage streak. You know, what he did to Michael Zarafa was uncalled for. Stopped him in the 2nd round, sat on his punches, and sat Michael Zarafa down on his ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, Arizlandi Lara reminds me of one of my favorite fighters in all of boxing, Juan Manuel Marquez. You know what I'm saying? El Dinamita. You know, I think that Dinamita, you know, as he got older, he found a newfound power. He stumbled upon the Power Stone. I think that's something that the old Mexican legend did. I think that's something that the living legend, active legend, and the oldest champion in boxing right now, oldest current active champion in boxing right now, Arizlandi Lara. I think he stumbled upon the same Power Stone. He's been sitting on his punches. He stopped Danny Swift Garcia last, and so I think he's gonna stop Johan Gonzalez as well, especially considering the circumstances, because obviously Gonzalez is in some good shape because he knew he was on standby just in case something happened. But Arizlandi Lara has been more actively preparing for something. Even though it wasn't Gonzalez, he was still preparing for a tough fight. So I just think his mentality is different, and I think it's on another level. I'm going with Arizlandi Lara 7-round stoppage. I'm going with the old man Lara by 7-round stoppage. Did I talk about Jesus Ramos? Yeah, I talked about Jesus Ramos. I picked Ramos, El Mono, you know, the monkey. Shout out to the monkey Ramos. His nickname is El Mono. El Mono translates to the monkey. I don't think I'm being rude or something. You know how people get. We're not like that over here. But yeah, shout out to El Mono. Yeah, I said him already. I got him by UD over Shane Mosley Jr. Now let's get into the main event, man. The main event that we all want to see: Isaac Pitbull Cruz versus Lamont Roach. Now, Isaac Pitbull Cruz is one of my favorite fighters. Lamont Roach has been growing on me a lot. You know, I've always liked him because, you know me, chat. Like I tell people all the time, I'm not one of, you know, Gervonta Tank Davis is one of my favorite fighters, but I'm not one of those guys that will say, oh, if somebody does well against a guy that I like, I'm not gonna like him. What? I thought Cinnamon was gonna beat Terrence Bud Crawford. I'm not mad at Bud because he won. I thought EJ was gonna beat Bud. I'm not mad at Bud because he won. In fact, Bud is one of my favorite fighters too. You see what I'm saying? I was going for Leo Santa Cruz against Gervonta Tank Davis. I like Leo Santa Cruz more at the time. But what he did to Leo Santa Cruz is part of the reason why I like Tank so much. When Canelo fought, who did Canelo fight back when I was going? I was torn in the first Triple G fight. Back when Canelo fought Austin No Doubt Trout, I was leaning towards Trout. But when Canelo repeatedly impresses me. That's what sways me to join the side of that fighter because of their performances. I don't just have like a blind, oh, I like this guy because he comes from the same hood I come from, or he wears the same clothes I wear, he dates a girl that I like, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or he loves pancakes like me. Like, some people do that. That's cool, but it takes more than that for me. So I like Cinnamon because he earned my fandom. Same with Gervonta Tank Davis. He earned it. You know, a lot of fighters, they earned. Junto Nakatani, Caleb Plant, Terrence Bud Crawford. So with that being said, Lamont Roach, he really impressed me. You know, I already liked him when he fought Frago McCrory. I liked him when he lost to Jamel Herring. I still was always looking for him. He's a champion. But he impressed me with his fight against Gervonta Tank Davis. You know, he shut a lot of people up. And I thought he performed well. And I told people that it was going to be a tough fight, but I didn't know it was going to be that tough. I didn't know it was going to be that tough. You know, but it was a tough fight. He impressed me. With that being said, though, I feel like Lamont Roach is kind of, I don't know if why I feel like this, chat. I mean, I know why. But I don't know if I'm accurate to feel like this. But I feel like Lamont Roach is kind of overlooking Aesop Pitbull Cruz, man. I feel like, and I don't feel like he's doing that in a disrespectful way. I just think he's doing it like he just thinks he's that much better. Like, you know, some people overlook somebody like, oh, he's not on my level, he's not good, I'm gonna just walk through him. I don't think he's overlooking him like that, but I think he's overlooking him like, oh, we have a common opponent in Gervonta Tank Davis, and I fought Tank Davis better than he did. And I also think that Lamont Roach thinks that Gervonta Tank Davis is the best, rightfully so. I think Gervonta Tank Davis is better than Shakur, Teofimo, Devin Haney. I think he'll beat them. But I still like those other fighters as well. But my point is that I think Lamont Roach also looks at Gervonta Tank Davis, which, like a lot of fighters do, as the best. So I feel like he thinks that, oh, because I was arguably beat Gervonta, then Pitbull, if I'm at my best, I'm going to walk through Pitbull. And so, yes, Pitbull is one-dimensional, but, you know, and yes, you could outbox him, but he's going to make it hard for you to do that. You know what I'm saying? Even Rayo, I know Rayo, I think Lamont Roach is a better boxer skill-wise than Rayo, but I also think that Lamont Roach, I also think that Rayo, to me, it seems like Rayo was more prepared to do that. You know, I think Rayo that was his game plan, and he knew that from jump that he wasn't gonna go in a slugfest or an exchange with Pitbull. If you listen to Lamont Roach is saying, hey man, I'm gonna outbox him, but I want to stop him too. I'm not worried about an exchange. So I don't know, man. I think this is a 50-50 fight. Like I said, Aesop Pitbull Cruz is one of my favorite fighters because he's exciting. But I will say that I'm leaning towards Roach. I'm going with Roach by majority decision, man. I'm going with Roach by majority decision to beat Pitbull Cruz. But man, it's a tough one, man. I don't think this is an easy fight at all. So let's go through a brief little recap. So I got Frank Martin beating Rances Bartholomew in 9. I have Jesus Ramos by unanimous decision over Shane Mosley Jr. I have Arizlani Lara stopping Johan Gonzalez in 7. I have Oshiki Foster beating Stephen Coolboy Fulton by unanimous decision. And I have Lamont Roach by majority decision over Pitbull Cruz. Those are Doc's predictions for the fight, man. You know what I'm saying? Now we're gonna move on and open up the calls to anybody who wants to hit my line. You know what I'm saying? Anybody wants to hit my line, man. The phone lines are now open. Man. Appreciate you. Boxer Wiz said Ryan missed weight for the Haney fight, so I don't know if that's a deciding factor in my opinion. I feel that, Boxer Wiz, but Ryan, you're telling half the story. Ryan missed weight by 3 pounds. Ryan missed weight by a lot, and Ryan was on PEDs. we can't just say that he missed weight. Ryan did not just miss weight. Ryan came in intentionally overweight, and he was intentionally a substance abuser. So I don't even know why. I'm not talking to you, Boxer Wiz, but I do have a question. Like, why does it seem like people have trouble saying that? I don't understand why people have trouble saying that. Like, not saying you, Boxer, but I'm just speaking in general because, you know, I was watching an interview, and there was this goofball, Radio Raheem, right? That freaking cornball ass jit. He was on an interview with Bill Haney and Sean Zettel. You know, I like Sean Zettel. Radio Raheem, not so much. I don't know, man. He's just a goofy, man. And you know, and I don't know him personally, so I won't say more than that. But he was just saying like, oh yeah, Ryan Garcia fought well against Devin Haney. Bitch, he was on a performance-enhancing drug. That's why it's illegal. That's why it's a no contest. You can't just say he fought well. What? Does anybody say Francisco Rodriguez fought well against Galal Yafai? No, we just say he cheated because that's what he did. The focus is not on how good he looked while cheating. It's like, let me give you an example, man. If I'm going to take the SAT, right, and then you find out I do well, I do great, I have a great score, but then you find out I had a cheat sheet, and I may not have had all the answers, but I had a lot of the answers, and then you say, okay, bet, I'm gonna give you another test. It's going to be a SAT still, but it's going to be a different test. And then I don't perform well. I fail it. And then people ask me, say, oh, dang, man, Doc, how smart is Doc? Well, let's go look at his last two tests. Oh, he failed this test under normal circumstances. Oh, wait, but the test where he cheated, he did good, man. I'm going to judge him off the time he did good, not his most recent test where he didn't cheat. That's what you're doing, Ryan Garcia. You see how dumb that sounded? To judge me not off the test where everything was even and I failed it, but you're going to judge my performance and my intelligence based on the test that I cheated, even though it didn't count. That's what you're doing every single time you judge Ryan Garcia on the performance that he cheated, instead of judging him by his last performance when he lost. Damn, I'm good. I know. That was good. That was off the top, too. That was off the top. I freestyled with that analogy. I'm a beast. I know. You ain't know where I was going with that until I brought it all around, though. Yeah, you see? Yeah, I think that thing hit, right? So that's as stupid as that sounds. If I take two tests and one test I fail because I didn't cheat, the other test I do good because I cheated, but the more recent test is the one of me failing, you're going to omit that and judge me off of the performance where I cheated. That's how dumb you are. And you sound when you're Radio Raheem and you tell me, oh, well, Ryan Garcia lost to Rolly, but man, he looked good against Devin Haney, though. Freaking cornball, you freaking dummy. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're a dummy.
You dumbass.
You're a dummy. You're a dummy. And anybody who does that, that's what you sound like, bro. So so hopefully you understood that analogy and you follow now. So anytime you hear somebody judge Ryan Garcia off the time where he cheated, just you're judging somebody off of a time when they cheated, even though they took another test later and they failed it because he had two fights. Then you could argue that the Rolly Romero fight was easier, right? Because nobody in their right mind would say that Rolly Romero is a better fight than Devin Haney. So you could argue that he failed on an easier test when he didn't cheat. But you don't care about that. You judge him off the time he looked good when he cheated. So next time somebody fails a test, just judge them off the time when they cheated. Don't judge them off the time when they took a test and they failed it when they didn't cheat. Judge them off the time they look good when they cheated. You stupid ass. Yeah, a radio he thinks he's more intelligent and he forces it. Bro, that dude is so dumb. Oh my goodness, right? That dude is so dumb, man. That dude is so dumb. That's right. I forgot about Ryan was a PED warrior. Forgot all about it. That's what, no, like I said, I wasn't talking about you, Wiz, because I rap with you, so I know that you're not on that type of time. I'm just talking about you. Just reminded me of that instance. I wasn't talking to you, my brother. So you know what I'm saying. And anybody can feel how they want to feel, but I'm just saying next time you see people do that, just think about that, bro. Really, really think about what people are doing. Like even Amir Khan, he lost to Kell Brook, but he still cheated him. Joseph Parker, he lost to Fabio Worley, he still cheated him. Just because you cheat doesn't mean that it's going to result in a victory. That doesn't determine when you cheated or not. It's going to hit harder if you cheat and you're victorious, but you could cheat and fail. People cheat and fail all the time. That's just the harsh reality, bro. I give you an open book. I'll give you one of my PhD. Not even a PhD. I'll give you one of my engineering tests from thermodynamics. I'll let you cheat all you want. Use Chat GPT. Use your baby mama. Use your girlfriend. Use your sister. Use your brother. Use your homeboy down the street. Use a lifeline. You still gonna fail it because you're not hip to that type of information. That's okay. I'm not saying you're done, but I'm just saying that just because you cheat doesn't mean you're gonna pass. Cheating is not determined if you're victorious or successful or not. Cheating is cheating. Let's not change the confines of what it is. You could cheat and still lose. Joseph Parker cheated and still lost. Amir Khan cheated with the same Austrian as Ryan Garcia, by the way. Amir Khan cheated and still lost. Janabek didn't even fight, but he still cheated. That's how it goes, bro. Janabek cheating isn't contingent on him fighting at all. You don't even have to fight and you can still cheat. So let's stop making cheating seem like, oh, you have to win for the cheating to matter. No, Francisco Rodriguez cheated Glaucia Fai. Ryan Garcia cheated Devin Haney. Joseph Parker cheated Fabio Worthy. Amir Khan cheated Kell Brook, and so on and so forth. Janabek tried to cheat. Not tried because the fight got canceled. He cheated Arizlandi Lara because he cheated Arizlandi Lara at a legacy. Imagine if Arizlandi Lara could call himself a 42-year-old 3-belt champion, unified champion in the middleweight division. He no longer even has that opportunity now because Janabek cheated him of it. Louis Neary cheated Yamanaka. So we can keep going, man. But yeah, man. So that's it, man. I'm gonna open up the phone lines for real this time. Let's get it, man. But yeah, I think anybody, whether you guys staying Radio Raheem or you're anybody on the zone like Todd Grisham or whatever his name is, if you're anybody that speaks or recalls the Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia fight and you do not mention the PEDs, then I feel like you don't like boxing. That means you don't like boxing, because that's a very important piece of the story. Now, like I said, I'm not saying that Ryan Garcia doesn't beat Devin Haney again. He might, but I'm just saying you have to tell the whole story. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy that people say Margarito cheated Cotto. Margarito never tested positive for anything, and they never found the plaster of Paris in Margarito's gloves against Cotto. Did they? Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, because I do not like practicing revisionist history. In fact, it irks me. A lot of people think that Margarito cheated Miguel Cotto. I think he cheated Miguel Cotto. But I don't know he cheated Miguel Cotto. And neither does anybody, because it was never proven that he cheated Miguel Cotto. He got caught cheating Sugar Shane Mosley by the late, great Nazim Richardson. Nazim Richardson is not Miguel Cotto's trainer. So if Nazim Richardson is the one that discovered the plaster of Paris in Margarito's hands during their fight with him, there's no way that they found him cheating against Miguel Cotto. But my point of saying that is that even when we have fighters that we don't definitively know cheated, we still say that they cheated. But when it comes to Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, we know Ryan Garcia cheated, but we still speculate that it didn't matter. Conor Benn never got caught cheating against Chris Algieri, but you always hear Paulie Malignaggi and Tim Bradley say, oh, Conor Benn cheated Chris Algieri because he knocked him out, but he never got caught cheating Chris Algieri. We just assume that he did because he got caught cheating later. And I do assume once you're a cheater, always a cheater. I think Janabek tried to cheat Lara. I think Janabek cheated Arizlandi. I think Janabek cheated, gosh dang, Annual Namasenge. I think he cheated Denzel Bentley. I think he cheated Stephen Butler. I think Margarito probably cheated all the way back to Sergio Martinez. Once you get caught cheating, I don't know how long you've been cheating. I think Ryan Garcia cheated Oscar Duarte. In fact, Oscar Duarte does too, because Oscar Duarte said that he thought Ryan Garcia was on the PED. I think Ryan Garcia probably cheated Gervonta Tank Davis too, despite losing. I think he probably cheated Javier Fortuna too, Luke Campbell too, Emmanuel Tago too. I think Amir Khan probably tried to cheat Terrence Crawford before he quit. Or maybe when he quit, that was the time that it convinced him to go on the drugs for Kell Brook. Amir Khan probably cheated Bradis Prescott. He just lost. Once you're a cheater, bro, I question everything. I think once you get caught cheating, they should put you on the Alexander Povetkin diet. You know, Alexander Povetkin got caught cheating so many times, they retroactively wiped his slate of 10 years worth of fights, a decade worth of fights that he won. Don't count. I think they should do that for everybody. Facts. But yeah, let me bring on my brother Oscar Perez, man. Let me bring on my brother Oscar Perez. Shout out to my brother Dub in the building. Shout out to Boxer Wiz. Yes, Michael Michel Rivera, a.k.a. Ali Reincarnate. He cheated Frank Martin and he failed. He cheated Frank Martin. That's a fact. That's a fact. Shout out to my brother Oscar in the building. What's good, my brother? Yo.
Yo.
What's good, bro? How you doing, man?
We got hot takes today.
Got some hot takes? Hot takes like hot cakes? Let's get it.
Everybody's on watch. Everybody's on watch today.
Everybody, bro. We gotta cut down on these cheaters, man. We gotta get them out of there. Don't forget to smack that like button if you haven't done so already, man. We have my brother Oscar about to talk to y'all real quick. Let's listen
We got to
to it,
cut
man.
back on this cheaters, corrupt organization. Now we know what's WBC green. We got to cut back on this slander motherfuckers, sorry ass bitches. We got to cut back on this PED popping losers. And we got to cut back on this overweight motherfuckers. Oh my God, let's start there.
Let's start there. Let's get it.
Bro, how you go up? You can even argue 2 weight classes.
Come on now.
Because it was his bounce back fight.
Yep.
It was a real fight.
Yep.
He got a belt. But nobody counts his bounce back fight. Or at least personally, me, this is something I do. I don't really count bounce back.
Okay.
Though it happened, yes. There's a good win. Yes, it's your bounce back. It's against somebody that you should probably beat. And then you go up in weight, not 1, 2 weight classes. Let's keep it consistent. You come out not 1 pound, 2 pounds overweight.
132, ain't it?
My brother. Yeah. Doc, I shouldn't even be in shape, but you know what? I'm working out. You know what? Like I just got back to getting back in rhythm. You know what my favorite exercise is?
What's that?
Jumping the goddamn rope.
That's what I'm talking about.
This man should have jumped the goddamn rope a little bit longer.
Talk to him.
How you go up 2 weight classes, bro? This is a legacy defining fight. You're about to be a 3-division world champ.
You was about to put him in the Hall of Fame, wasn't it?
Oh, hell yeah. I still think if he wins, like now that you said the Ryan Garcia thing, I'm so glad you said it because though Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia have PEDs involved. At first, when that fight got, when he came overweight and Devin accepted the fight, I wasn't even mad at it. You know why? Because the other fighter knows that you're overweight. He's choosing not to opt out of this fight, whether it be for paycheck, whether it be for legacy. And but he knows already. He y'all back on even playing fields. Though you're overweight, he accepted the fight. Hey, I think I can pull it off. Shout out to Oshaki Foster. He's a real one.
Yep.
But I think he still got to lose to me because I already had him losing. I think it's gonna be a more dominant performance from Fulton. But that's neither here or there. That's where I think the difference lies between the Ryan Garcia and those Fulton stuff.
Okay.
Now that being said, how you go up and still can't make weight? Gosh damn, bro.
I have a question though. Since you brought it, do you think Ryan? We agree that Ryan's was intentional, right?
Yeah.
Do you think Fulton's was intentional?
Yes.
Oh, you do? Okay. See, I don't. But I was gonna say, to me, I'm not saying that because it makes it better. I think that makes it worse. I think that shows that you're like what I'm saying. It makes it worse.
Yeah.
From the standpoint that you didn't even mean to come in. Like, that's how undisciplined you are, that you accidentally came. Like, at least if Ryan Garcia didn't intentionally, like, that was part of the plan. So I got to respect, you know what I'm saying? You executed a plan. I don't think this was part of the plan. I could be wrong, but if you think so, okay. But I don't think he planned. I think he was just undisciplined, bro. And I think that makes it worse.
I think it's a mixture of both. But this is just me personally. I have no sources. I'm just
I feel it. Yeah. I'm asking you. Yep.
Yeah, he realized he wasn't gonna make weight. So, he was trying to make weight, but he just chose not to go.
Okay. I'm saying that.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah. Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
I agree with that.
So it's intentional in a sense, yes, but he at least tried to make weight.
Okay.
But he didn't come in with the beer and chug a beer down in the scale. No, I still though I think it would have been a greater fight than what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
I think the balance leans towards Fulton, in my opinion at least. But that's man, that's good. That's scooter heavy duty, bro.
Hey,
that's all I gotta say.
Come on now. I think
that being said,
I'm with you on that.
That being said, I got Fulton by UD. Maybe a stoppage.
Okay.
because if we now that we know that, if we realize that he could have made weight with, like, he could have been a higher weight with Figueroa,
Mm-hmm.
or and long before then.
Mm-hmm.
If look, you see what he did to Figueroa. Now I understand styles make fights,
Mm-hmm.
but the way he handled Figueroa, he gave him everything he can handle and more. Don't you think with a little bit more power he can put someone out? Now, Oshaki Foster stylistically is different, a different beast, but Oshaki Foster also has a bunch of tails on his game.
Mm-hmm.
He pulls back, he tries to tug back hair, whether he pulls back counter.
Yep.
I think he's a better counter puncher than Fulton. I just don't think. But I also think Fulton is right there with him when it comes to IQ.
I would actually lean towards Fulton in the IQ department.
So yeah, so if I can see it,
yeah, from what I see,
and I'm an average Joe, if I can see that, and I'm just an average Joe, what do you think an elite fighter like Fulton's gonna do?
right, and especially with Bosey in his corner as well. That's a good point,
Yeah.
man. That's why I said this. I really didn't want to predict. I'm gonna be honest. I was going to not predict on this one, but I was like, nah, I have to give a prediction. You know, but I really think it's that close. But for me, and maybe it's more of a reactive, impulsive decision, but
Intrusive.
Yeah, I'm going for Foster because I didn't like the fact that he missed weight. Man, I like Fulton.
Yeah,
you know, I like Fulton, but I thought that was whack, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It's because, like you said, though, this was a legacy. I mean, it still is a legacy fight. It's not completely down the drain, but it's like we were talking. What was the focal point? Oh, I'm gonna be a 3-division world champion. I'm gonna be all like, and you took it away for yourself, bro. You beat yourself.
Yeah, it's like,
nah, bro. I'm not going.
Bro,
I can't root for that, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Not this fight.
especially like people like you and me, like we both know each other. It's like it's legacy and money, like everything that comes with legacy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If I get that opportunity, you're damn sure I'm gonna let that pass.
Come on now.
I'm gonna come in at 100%, even 110%. I don't even know what the hell that is. It's
Facts.
Just, 100% not being found, but like I'm gonna give myself every single opportunity.
Everyone, bro.
But this man just like, and you know how highly I think of him. I still think he's a great fighter. I still think he is that guy.
Me too.
But he just showed a little bit of undiscipline on this time. He slipped up. He did slip up.
But see,
Oshaki.
Oh my bad.
Oshaki took the fight. Shout out to Oshaki Foster. I would not be mad if he didn't take the fight.
Me either. Me too. I wouldn't have been mad at Laura. I would not have been mad at Foster. But I will say this though, and this is why I also don't like it. Same reason why I didn't like it for Ryan too. Outside of the PDs, just the overweight part, and same reason why I didn't like it for Keyshawn. Because I feel like they know that when you do that, it's like it's kind of like a slap in the face, bro. Like, and we're already supposed to punch each other in the face, but it's like that puts me in a compromised position because people at the end of the day, some people will blame the person that came in overweight, but a lot of people are going to blame, oh, well, he should have took it anyway. It's only 1 pound. You know, people love to say that. It's only 2 pounds. It's only 4 pounds. They're going to like, so it's just, I feel like that was weak for Keyshawn to do that to De Los Santos. I think it was weak for Ryan Garcia to do that to Haney. I think it's weak for Fulton to do it to Foster. And I just can't rock with it, bro. I just think like we were talking about the legacy the whole time. And this is what it is too. What were we saying the whole time, every single face-off, every single interview? We were saying, gosh dang, Fulton looked like he healthy, bro. Like he eating a lot. And bro, we called this months ago, bro. And you ain't do nothing in months to lose the weight. Nah, bro, I'm not going, bro. That joke is trash, bro. I've been saying this man look. I was like, bro, thank you. We've been calling him chubby. We've been calling him like, bro. He look like he look kind of big.
We knew about this fight before Benavidez was announced. Before the Benavidez card was announced. Because
and you still don't make weight.
What was going on? You still don't know.
Yeah, like, bro, I can't rock with that, bro. I'm sorry. That shit trash.
So trash. It's so trash. Like I said, so trash. Like I said, I still think he's a great fighter.
Me too.
I kind of see it while Shockey Foster didn't how to take it in the sense of he is a top ranked guy, and in the sense of not that, but like in the sense of he is 130. 130 is unless you're Mexican or a stand guy, like you don't make a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
And both guys, you know, Fulton coming from the smaller divisions, America don't like the smaller divisions. So it's like, I I see why he took it. I do see why. I don't like it. I think they both should come in that way.
You know what makes it even worse, bro. The more we talk about it, the more it's kind of annoying me. Like it's kind of, it's not like making me feel like it's all good. Like, great, things happen. Don't get me wrong, things happen. So I still like Fulton too, but bro, like you just said, you just reminded me, bro. This fight wasn't even supposed to happen in December. It was supposed to happen before. So the fight, I think it's like the third time it's been postponed, and you still, on top of that, you still don't make weight. Nah, bro. Bro. This is
because it was like it was supposed to headline twice.
Come on now,
if I'm not mistaken.
Come on now, you're not mistaken.
And then it got postponed.
Come on now.
And then it was gonna be on a PBC card, but I can't remember which one. I think it was Fedora against someone.
Come on now,
if I'm not mistaken. And then it got moved to Pitbull Cruz. But it's just trash. It's like, you can't make weight. And like I said, I still rock with Fulton. I still think he's an A-class fighter. That's why I got him beat him with Shockey Foster. I think with Shockey Foster is a great fighter. You just can't lose a belt like that. To me, I'm like, but you know what? And you know this better than anybody, dog. And I'm not saying it just to be racist. I'm just saying, like, culturally, bro, these both guys are from the hood, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, man, you won't take this fight. That makes you a bitch, and I don't rock with that. Shout out to you if you do. I wouldn't have been mad at Shockey if he didn't take the fight, but you don't know how he, like, the demons within, you know, because Shockey does come from that life, and like, you don't know the demons within. I would have been cool if he didn't take the fight, and I actually don't like the fact that he took the fight.
Don't like the fact that Foster accepted it anyway. That's what you're saying? Make sure I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Still, I think it's a belt. It's for a belt. And WBC, bro, I'm about to go into WBC, bro. Like, you have no idea. It is for a belt. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
It would have legacy.
Oh, we lost you, bro. We lost you.
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay, we got you back now.
Yeah, I had a phone call. You know, the spam risk. Oh, you have a computer broken. Bro, I haven't had a computer since I was in high school.
Right.
But it was for a belt. It's a legacy-defining fight for both guys. For Shockey Foster, a guy that we think he got stuck at Top Rank a little too long.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he signed a slave contract.
Right.
Like Tio did.
Right.
But like that was his only option. For me, Shockey Foster was, for a long time, the best fighter at 130. For a very long time.
Better than Navarrete? Better than who's the other guy? Lamont Roach?
I thought he was better than Lamont Roach. I think if the timing was right, Shockey would have whooped Lamont Roach. I don't think so now.
Right.
But like, back in the day, when Shockey was Shockey Foster, I thought so. And Navarrete and Shockey, that's the fight that we never got. That's the perfect fight that we never got.
Come on now.
I'm
both
still
on top
mad
rank.
about that one.
Both on top rank too. I would say Sugar Nunez, but he just got there, so you know
he just got there.
The IBF.
Oscar Valdez was another one that didn't happen. Hobson happened, but Shockey, bro, that was so disgustingly. That
robbery, right?
Bro.
Yeah, that first one was crazy. Yeah.
But that being said, on Shockey Foster, like I said, I still think he shouldn't have taken the fight. Shout out to him.
Yeah,
but
I agree with you.
It just pisses. Like, the more we talk about it, the more I'm mad. I'm getting.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can tell, but I'm getting freaking pissed about it.
Yeah, because it's like, see, the reason why. Okay, so selfishly, as a boxing fan, I'm glad he took it because more boxing.
Yeah.
But at the end, if let's say Fulton wins, now it's like, well, he came in overweight. Exactly. So it's not even like a pure. I don't know, man.
It's like a half win.
Yes, bro. It's like exactly. So if Foster wins, it's all good. Not really an issue.
Yes.
But if Fulton wins, then now it's a built-in excuse. It's like, oh, would he have won if it wasn't for the weight? Or I like what is Terrence Crawford versus Canelo. Both fighters make weight. Both everything good. I like what is Anthony Yarde versus David Benavidez. I like what is Haney versus Norman. Everything good, bro. Gosh, dang, just step up your professionalism, man. Shout out to all the fighters that are professional, man. Consummate professionals, man. Discipline, man. Handle their business, bro. Like I hate having like a freaking caveat.
Navarrete, Navarrete, like, come on, man. This man was dying in the scale, and he still makes
still
weight.
made weight. You know, he blew out all the air in his
Gosh
lungs. It
dang.
still made weight.
You see them like the Hunter guy?
Oh man, I'm telling you, bro.
But he still made weight,
blowing
bro.
away like the big bad wolf, bro. He blowing down all the piggies' houses. That was crazy. Still
This
made
man's
weight.
like
though.
Janabek, a weight like professionally signed that he's a weight
Yeah,
bully.
but he made
But
the
he
weight.
still makes weight.
Right.
You're coming up not one but two. I still thought he could have gone down. He could have gone up.
Yeah, he just
But
got
you
to
can't make
126
weight.
not too long ago.
Gosh dang, bro.
Yeah, that's wild, man. But shout out to them though. We get in the fight, so we'll see how it
Yeah.
goes, man. And
Great fight. Like I said, great
man.
fight.
Yep.
It
Hey,
just
so talk-
compromised at this
Yes,
point.
it's compromised. Exactly. Talk to me about this WBC, man. Before we get out of here, we're gonna close it with you on this WBC, man. Take off on them, man. Let me know how you feel. You agree with it? You disagree with it? You think that they did the right thing or wrong thing? Let me know how you feel, man.
Do you have to pay your fees? Yes, you have to pay your fees.
Absolutely.
I agree with that 100%.
Absolutely.
What did Jesus say? What's from Caesar is from Caesar. What's from me is from me.
Come on now.
But, because there's a but. When you don't like Caesar, then you change the rules and you up the purse bit because the guy ain't Mexican, because the guy ain't a money man, because the guy don't generate as much money as somebody else could, or because the guy you just straight up don't like him. I'm not talking about Bibble and Bud.
Yep.
I'm talking about them both. Bibble was barely going into his surgery and he was stripped.
Strip, bro. They stripped him
Like,
before he got to the operating room, bro. He wasn't even at the hospital yet, bro.
Like he wasn't even in the hospital. He wasn't even on the diet to go to the hospital yet, and he got stripped. I guarantee you that Bibble got home before that bill did, and he was already stripped. Like, all right, now you got to send it back, bro. You got to send it back.
Facts.
And now, Bud, like this is ridiculous at this point. Dog, let me ask you something.
Yes, sir.
Who did the WBC just allow to be a volunteer for a top 3 pound for pound?
For top 3 pound for pound? What you mean?
Usyk and Wilder is a volunteer.
Oh yeah. Wilder. Yeah, Wilder. Yep. Yep.
Wilder. Does it have anything to do with money?
Everything, bro. This man,
I guarantee you, if it would have been
my
Cavalier,
God.
they would have stripped his ass.
I'm so glad you
Like
said. I
this.
forgot about and I made a video about it. Yes, the Wilder one and the Usyk one. That's announced in the WBC Cup. They approved Deontay Wilder, bro. Bro, keep cooking, bro. Sorry, go ahead, bro.
So it's like, are you serious? Like, you didn't order? No, you made a franchise belt
Come on
to
now.
keep Canelo in place. And
Come
I
on
like Canelo. I think he's an all-time great.
He
I'm
is
not a
an
Canelo
all-time
fan
great.
though.
Facts.
That's where I separate myself. But you made a belt so he can keep generating money for you.
Come on now.
And now that Bud has it, now the Bud beats Canelo, so therefore he inherits the franchise belt. Oh, if you're not gonna fight our guys, so tell me what place was Wilder in before you announced the fight?
Come on
please.
now.
He's not fighting your guys.
Come on
He's
now.
not fighting your guys. Budrick, an all-time great. The first 2-time undisputed champion, and the first 3-time undisputed champion.
Yep.
In 3 different weight classes. He's not fighting your guys. And who the fuck are your guys? Because as far as I know, if you're boxing and you're paying them fees, everybody's your guy.
Everybody's your guy. That's that right there. I'm gonna pull it up to where's Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder is number. Am I blind or he's not even on here? This is.
That's what I was asking. That's what I was asking.
Oh no, he's ranked number 13. He's 13 in the WBC right now. He just got approved to fight Deontay. He just got approved to fight Alexander Usyk.
Now, dog, when did Budrick fought Canelo?
September 13th, right?
Okay. How long did Canelo had to make the fight happen? And you know what? I'm not even talking about Canelo as a hatred, and I didn't even think Bud was talking bad about Canelo.
I don't think he was either.
I think the Bibble guy, the one that you had in your video, was talking bad about.
Frank Smith. Yeah, I don't think he was either.
Yeah, I don't think he was talking bad about Canelo.
I don't
It's
think so
just
either.
to show you
An example.
who runs things.
Right.
That simple as that.
Right.
And it's like, how long did Canelo have before he decided on Skull?
Years, bro.
And he got stripped. And shout out to the IBF, like Crawford said. Shout out to the IBF.
Shout out to
I got
IBF.
no beef with the IBF.
Right.
Why? Because they strip me just like they strip everybody else.
Right.
They don't just strip me.
Right.
But whenever the WBC, he had to make that point with the WBC because the WBC goes for the money or the face of boxing or the guys that's making them more money. Why
Right.
did Benavidez got elevated to be? No, why did Benavidez got to fight for an interim belt against somebody that was in a 2-year layoff for money? Because
Come on now.
Benavidez is the money man at 175.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Yep. And look at welterweight. Conor Ben came out of nowhere. He hasn't even fought in the welterweight division since 2022 against Chris Van Heerden, I believe. Yeah, Chris Van Heerden was last time he fought 2022, 3 years ago. Last time he fought a welterweight. He's ranked number 1. And now is a mandatory for the winner of Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios. Said at the WBC
And
convention
who
in
was
Thailand.
talking shit?
Come on,
Who was
man.
talking shit to the WBC before?
Eddie Hearn.
Eddie. and
Conor Ben or who?
and Oscar De La Hoya.
And Oscar De La Hoya. Yep, facts. I forgot about
Now,
Oscar
it's
talking
so-
trash about him too.
It so happened that Ryan Garcia and Conor Ben should be the aftermath for Barrios and Ryan Garcia. Now you're like, oh, Eddie Hearn with his stupid ass English accent.
Mhm,
I got nothing against English, but shut the fuck up, English. Fuck English.
That's crazy, bro.
But he came out like, oh, it's so disgraceful that Bud will talk down the WBC, the most pristine. Like, it's only pristine because it benefits you. Like, stop.
Right.
Conor Ben has never fought for a belt.
Right.
Ryan Garcia has never fought for a belt. So what makes you think he's going to beat Barrios? I don't know. But you shutting down Bud for speaking. He's the first one actively speaking. The people that we have to blame for this fight not happening. He's
on
the
now.
first one.
Come on now.
He's the first one that actually saying, you know what, fuck the WBC because they stripped me and they're not making this fights happen.
Come on now.
They're pushing money, guys, and we're gonna shut them down for that. We're gonna shut them down for speaking the truth.
Yep.
I've been saying this for a while. You've been saying this for a while. Ty, oh damn, Ty 2-4. Everybody,
Oh, 2-4.
Thomas Hill, Oster.
Mhm.
Like he's the first one that actively speak on it. And now you're like, oh, he's never gonna fight for a WBC belt again.
Come on, bro.
Fuck your WBC if it's like that. Honestly, and I don't agree with Bud, but the Ring magazine now is more pristine than any other title.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm so glad you brought that part up too. I know I said that earlier, but I don't agree with Bud as far as no, I do agree that the Ring is seen as that we always see it like that. But I don't think that it should just be I don't agree with him as far as saying, that like the Ring belt is the only one that matters. No, I don't agree with that at all. I don't even want to, because then I'll be an advocate for the new league that they're trying to implement, and I don't really like that. But I understand that he was mad, and when you're mad, you say stuff like that. If he really didn't care about his other sanctioned bodies, then he wouldn't have paid them on the amount that they agreed to. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Just
like
take the Ring belt,
Right.
the linear belt, and it's like it is not like Jai Apatow. You know, it's not a Jai Apatow situation. This
Right.
man went up and fought the best guy at that weight class, the best guy in years, another all-time great.
right.
But Mauricio Suleiman saying all that stuff, bro, and Oscar and Eddie just backing him up, it is just so infuriating because it's like, bro, this guy's actually speaking the truth.
Come on
This
now.
guy's not only is he a great in the ring, he is a great one for saying it out loud,
Right.
saying the things that everybody in the boxing space knows, but
Right.
don't really say,
Don't
like a
really
Max
say.
Kellerman, like a Chris Mannix,
Come on now.
like every other reporter, like Radio Raheem. Fuck that guy.
Oh
No,
my
but fuck
goodness, bro.
I'll
That
fuck him up.
that guy's trash, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That dude is trash.
I cannot believe whenever you said what he said, and I went back and watch him say it out of his mouth. I was like, bro, first of all, you got to clean up that accent. That accent's trash.
Yo, shout out
I
to all my
watched
English
plenty of
prejudice
soccer
sisters
games.
out there.
I watched plenty of soccer game, football for me, but like just to keep it consistent, American soccer games and the Premier League, bro. I'm a fan of it. That's the worst fucking accent I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I can't rock with that dude, man.
Then he's like, Stephen A. Smith trying to use big words. Bro, you're not Stephen A. Smith. Just be hood, bro, like everybody else, bro.
Right.
So it's okay.
And it's like, and it'd be different if it was just like, if this was like the first time he said some nonsensical nonsense. Yes. Redundant. But it's not
okay.
even, it's not the first time. He's just like, if it was the first time, I'd be like, okay, but it's been so many times. Now I'm just tired of it, bro. Like, he a clown,
like
man.
Stephen A. Smith when he was like, oh, Tank and Lamont Roach, and this reporter was like, but he's bringing them up. He didn't even mention the pounds. He's like, if he mentioned like the actual name of the division,
Right?
Which I don't really say him, but like he actually like say the name of the division was like, and where Stephen A. Smith was like, you see, that's where I have a problem, because when you're such a great guy, you should be fighting guys either in your category or higher up. But he did not realize that this guy was just one division lower. That's not the situation. This guy followed boxing. So it's just so stupid. Like the amount of fake pressers, sellouts, the amount of fucking like stupidity that is on the internet about boxing is insane.
Come on now.
And I don't know if I can close up with Laura, but if I can, it's cool. But I really wanted to touch up Laura because Laura's it, bro. Laura's it.
Man, I hope Laura comes out victorious, man. I'm rooting for Laura, man. I ain't gonna lie.
He's a Hall of Famer for sure.
Come on now, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Not only
man.
that, can I ask you why Laura don't get the Loma treatment when it comes to losses?
I have no clue. I think that it's just backing, I guess. You know, I know he's with PBC, but it's like they don't really promote him like that. As far as, I guess they don't really see the value in him. I guess that's because I don't know what it is. Laura's a beast, bro. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but he just doesn't have, people just don't really follow him. I don't know why. I can't really put my finger on it. Yeah, he beat Austin, no doubt. Trout. I guess because it was after Canelo.
Arguably,
I guess people didn't care.
To me, he lost. Like to me, he beat same as Triple G. Mm-hmm. To me, he beat Canelo clearly, convincingly. But I guess they didn't see it like that. The judges at the time. His other two losses.
Paul Williams.
Same, I had Laura winning.
Yeah, a lot of people had. Yeah, a lot of people say Paul Williams was a robbery. A lot of people say that.
To me, it was a close fight. Like we always say, a close fight with a clear winner.
Yeah.
Like a slugfest, like boxing class, but like with the clear winner.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what it was. And he got the loss. I thought he was at least they were gonna score a draw. I was like, the style. You know what happened? Same as Paro and Matias.
Yeah.
Same as Paro and Matias. Like Paro's been coming up this weird freaking wins where it's like he don't look good. He don't look that X factor that if you put him in there with someone that has a better style eyesight, like if you can because these judges don't see screens, so you see the ring. So if you put him in there with the style like that, then he's gonna lose. And to me, that's what happened to Laura against Paul Williams.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. But I am about to go ahead and get me some food, man. The boy is hungry, bro. Right. I appreciate you calling in, Oscar, man. Hey, we have some good fights tomorrow, though, man. I was thinking about going live for the job attire, but I'm not sure because, like I said, I couldn't find if it's going to be broadcasted. It's
Australian restrict. No, it's Australian restrict. You got to use a VPN.
You do have to use a VPN. Yeah, I read that somewhere. That's only it's strictly in Australia, like you said. Yeah, because I saw people.
Strictly Australia. I looked into it. I was interested in it. Yeah. And I was more interested because I don't know if they don't believe in Jai Apatow. Like you said, like
I'm wondering that too.
Whenever you said it, whenever you pointed it out in your last live, I was like, wait a minute. And I started watching some Sin Cara fights, and I was like, he could give Jai Apatow problems. Yeah. I'm not saying he's gonna beat him.
Right.
He can make him look like trash. Yeah. I mean,
people are complaining.
David Nika made him look like trash, bro, at times, and I was like, God damn.
Yeah, David Nika rocked him early.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was about to put him out.
But yeah, so yeah, man. So Hussein Sin Cara, we'll see, man. I like I said, I'm with you. I think Jai Apatow is gonna win, but man, I wanted to watch the fight live, but we'll see how it goes, man. So like you said, it's domestic only. So we're gonna be up for the the PBC fight tomorrow. So
hell yeah. But before you go, people sign up to the BTF members channel so you can have exclusive content. So you can have you can be here, you can chop it up even after times. That being said, there's a video that you put out that I want to talk about. Jun Nakatani Inoue. That's the biggest fight in boxing, 2026. That's a fight that's gonna happen.
Let's go.
I'm praying to God, and I don't believe in God, but I'm praying to God that everything goes well, because I want to see Jun Nakatani come victorious, undisputed, and this is gonna be fireworks. That fight just screams fireworks, fight of the year, round of the year.
Yeah.
That like everything that comes out like in the year, which we got to do our coronation talk.
Yes, sir.
Is the end of the year.
Yes, sir. Oh, I'm going to believe that. I'm just waiting for this. I actually plan on doing it after tomorrow, after these events.
After tomorrow?
So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
I was thinking, well, either tomorrow or I was waiting till Nia Inoue's card. But that's like really at the end. That's like right at the end. It's
because now, Inoue only got up to the year.
Yeah.
To me, that's the only possible criteria.
Yeah. If Picasso beats him, that would be the only thing. Yo, shout out to Payne, man. He said, never been on before, but you hit my feed. Can't even believe Fulton in this ish. Facts, Payne. Shout out to Payne coming through, man, for his first time, man. Welcome to the chat, man. Welcome to the Boxing Talk family. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you subscribe, and we'll see you more often, Payne. I appreciate you, bro. Welcome, man. Yeah, I can't believe Fulton did that either, bro. I'm real disappointed in him, man. I ain't gonna lie.
It had fight of the year written all over it. Mm-hmm. And I know people are not gonna agree with it, but to me, fight of the year right now is Bud and Canelo. That's my fight of the year.
Yeah, I like
IQ wise, it was just incredible to watch. I see Canelo do some things that I hadn't seen him do in 2-3 fights before. I see Bud do some things that I didn't even think it was possible to do. And bro, it's like so good.
Yeah, man.
That fight is. If you don't like that fight because of the outcome, you're trash. You're not a boxing fan.
Facts.
Go to sleep. You're probably Mexican, so hey, cállate los hocico, vete a dormir, güey. Hey, whatever. But
Lester Martinez and Christian Billy was a tough fight too, though. That was exciting. Well, was Angel Fierro Eastside Pitbull Cruz this year too? That was fire too. Yeah, hey, there's a lot of fight of the year candidates, bro. Yeah, there's some fight of the year candidates, man.
If Lamont Roach loses tomorrow, which is to me it's a 50-50 as well. Right. I have Pitbull kissing the canvas, and I have Lamont Roach getting hurt to the body. But that's a 50-50 fight to me. If Pitbull beats Lamont, you best know Angel Fierro is gonna be knocking on that door.
Yeah.
But no, Doc, thank you for having me on.
Man, thank you for calling in.
I can go on and on. You know me. I can go on and on. But thank you for having me on.
Hey, man, thank you for calling in. Yeah, bro, I give me some food, bro. I'm hungry, and I'm gonna go get some. Try to get some rest for these fights tomorrow, bro. I'm looking forward to it, man. I appreciate you coming through, bro, and sharing your thoughts and your predictions, man. I appreciate it.
Nah, no problem.
Yes, sir, right, man. God bless, man. Shout out to me, Hermano Carnal, man. Shout out to Oscar Perez joining the chat, calling in. Like I said, everybody can call in, man. The Discord is pinned to the top of the chat right now. So if you ever want to have something to say, man, you know, don't be intimidated, man. I know I like to talk fast and I get passionate about topics, but this is not, some people like to debate. If you want to debate, we could debate too, but this is not really, it's about for me. It's just, I want to hear people's thoughts. You know what I'm saying? If we disagree, we disagree. We don't have to be in concurrence about everything. You know what I'm saying? But the call will go however you want to go. You know what I'm saying? I leave the ball to your court. We want to debate, we could debate. But if you just want to get your thoughts off, or your opinions off, and hear how I respond to them, we could do that too. So I really just like people calling to hear their opinions, man. We definitely don't have to agree about everything. But yeah, I just want to shed a light on Terrence Crawford, man. What people have been talking, I think it was crazy. I think that this is clearly a situation that could have been avoided, and I think that it was Mauricio Suleiman who was the antagonist. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Crawford could have, I guess he could have. I don't know, man. I really don't think he could have. I was gonna say he could have acquiesced, but I don't think he should have either. You know, I just think that, you know, when somebody thinks that they are entitled to more, you know, it'll be different if he didn't pay the other sanctioning bodies. But he said that they agreed to a fee, and he paid them what they agreed to. Mauricio Suleiman and WBC didn't agree to that amount, They didn't want that amount. They wanted more. So, you know, if it's good for the other sanctioning bodies, it is good for them too. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So I just feel like they're kind of not criminalizing, excuse me, they're demonizing, villainizing Terrence Crawford, and Mauricio Suleiman doesn't even abide by their own rules that they set. They don't even adhere to their own rules. So I don't know, man. That's just my personal opinion on that. Payne said, oh yeah, that Abdullah and Sam Noakes fight too. Bro, there's a lot of Fight of the Year candidates, man. Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes is up there. I'm trying to think what else is up there for Fight of the Year, man. I got to go back to the early fights too, man. It's been so long, man. Javante, hey, people might be mad at me. You know, I like Tank. Tank's my guy, but Lamont Roach did his thing, man. It was a controversy. The controversy surrounding the fight overshadowed what really went on. You know what I'm saying, in that fight. Lamont Roach did his thing, man. He held his own, and they were throwing some bombs at each other. I'm not saying this Fight of the Year, but that was a good fight too. It was entertaining. If you take out the knee where he should have had the points deducted, take out the illegal interaction with the corner when they wiped me down like Boosie, then that was that kind of overshadowed the intense fight that they had. It was really a rivalry. It looked like a rivalry in there, man. So I thought it was a good fight. I was entertained by it. But of course, you know, we can't act like that's the first time we've seen somebody interact with the corner and not get DQ'd. Jack Catterall interacted with his corner against Harlem Eubank. He had his face wiped down too. He didn't get DQ'd. It wasn't the first time that a referee missed a knockdown. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it should happen. I'm just saying that we get more outrage when the guy or girl is more popular. So these things are not isolated events. We've seen referees have referee blunders when they're officiating before. So it sucks, but at the same time, we saw Zele Zhang the very next week get knocked down. He took a knee, and the referee missed it, right? We saw when Anthony Joshua was fighting Daniel Dubois, both his gloves touched the canvas. The referee missed it. So sometimes, now the referee didn't, he saw this. He was wrong on this. I don't know how he missed that, but you know, these things happen in boxing. We can't act like these are unprecedented events, you know, and that's why, you know, there's human error with officiating. It is what it is. Shout out to my brother Doc Capehart. He said, what time you on tomorrow? I don't know what time I'm on tomorrow. The fight starts I should be on by 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to go on for the Job Ataya fight, but like I said, that comes on at 2 o'clock in the morning. I would go on, but they're saying it's locked unless you have a VPN. It's strictly domestic in Australia, so that sucks. I wanted to see him versus Hussein Sankara. I've seen a lot of Sankara fans disappointed in that as well because he's from Germany, I believe. But yeah, there's another fight too tomorrow in England, I believe, that I may go on. Oh, Shabazz. Yeah, Shabazz Massoud and Peter McGrail at 2 p.m. I may go on for that. I'm not sure. I have some things to do tomorrow, so but I'll definitely be on by 6:37. He said, ain't nobody scared of you. They be acting like they scared. You know what I'm talking about? They be acting like they scared, man. Like, you know, your boy talk too good, man. I'm just too good, boy. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, man. Shout out to everybody pulling up, man. Shout out to all the members. I appreciate all the members, especially, man, always showing me love. You know, help to keep the lights on, man. Consider becoming a member, starting at $3 a month. That's all it takes to contribute to the stream, support the stream. And you get things like all the best emotes, you see what I'm saying? So shout out to all the members, man. Shout out to everybody showing love coming through, man. Shout out to everybody that hits the super chat as well. Let me hit up some of these super chats that we were showing some love. Shout out to my brother Doc Capehart for the $2. Shout out to George the Last Patriot, saying WBC, aka We Be Crooks, in the super chat. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. Shout out to Clone for the $10 super chat. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Tufo for the subscription of his membership, man, at the Boxing Talk graduate level for 8 strong months, man. I appreciate you, bro. That's a long time you've been rocking. I appreciate that. Does not go unnoticed. And shout out to everybody that does the things for free. If you want to contribute and you can't do it monetarily, smack the like button, smack the share button, follow your boy on all social media platforms. You know what I'm saying? We're on Spotify too for the audio only. For your listening pleasure, we are now on Spotify under Dr. Boxing Talk. The same thing on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, everything. Dr. Boxing Talk, man. Come rock with us. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Also, too, if you like newsletters, we also write. Your boy get his journal on, you know what I'm saying? Made me feel like I'm back doing my scholarly papers, you know what I'm saying, for my PhD and stuff like that. Like, we back to writing. So, you know, I write boxing newsletters every single week, man. So every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, check out Doc's Corner. The link is in the chat. All those journals are written by yours truly, man. So we doing everything, man. We getting it in on Spotify, YouTube, Beehive with the newsletters, bro. We on Twitter, all Dr. Boxing Talk on everything, man. So rock with your boy. That helps us to keep going and growing, and I appreciate that, man. Y'all be easy. I will be back on tomorrow, good Lord willing. And yeah, man, as always, man, tell somebody that you love them, and be the kindness in the world that you want to see. You know what I'm saying? Be that beacon of hope for somebody that you want to see in the world. You know what I'm saying? That's how we can all make a difference, no matter how small you may feel. You're big to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother Doc Capehart with the hello yellow $10 on a fellow with that bread, that cheese, that butter. Shout out to my boy dropping the $10, man. I appreciate that on the super chat. He said Doc Capehart. Hey, you pulled up on the Discord? No, I don't see him in this. He said Doc Capehart members only chat. No, he's not in there. He's not in there. I was about to say, if he pulled up, bro, let me know. But yeah, man, I should be back on tomorrow. Shout out to my brother Oscar Perez with the hello yellow $10 on the fellow. Appreciate that, man. Shout out to my brother Oscar Perez dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter. Oh, Oscar's inviting. Oh, I thought he said he was there. You're inviting him. Yeah, pull up. Yeah, man. Hey, man, when you're a member, another perk for being a member, man, you get access to the Discord 24/7. You can go back there and chop it up in the voice channel, man. Sometimes Oscar be kicking it back there. Ty, Dub, Oster, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, Smoochie sometimes she'll be back there. Shawa. So they'll be back there chopping it up. You have access to all that. Doc Capehart said, oh, you did, bro. You got to let me. Hey, sometimes I see it, but sometimes, you know, I'm doing some things on my screens, or I might not even just be looking at the screen, so I didn't see it. My bad, bro. I wasn't intentional. If I didn't see you back there, bro, I apologize. So yeah, but you could go back there and rock with Oscar if you just want to chop it up. But if you want to say something on the show, I'm finna slide on your ass. hey, I'm finna slide, bro. But yeah, man, the new schedule is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, and then 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday. And of course, we bring you live commentary for all the fight nights, whether it's on Saturday like it usually is at 8 p.m. in the evening or nighttime in America, or if it's in Saudi Arabia at 2 o'clock, or if it's in England, in the UK with our UK brethren session on Sunday at 2 p.m. while you're eating your breakfast and your brunch and your crumpets, or if it's on a Wednesday or Tuesday morning turned up in Japan. We in there, man. We got the club going up on a Tuesday, so we always go live, so we're never going to change that. But our live shows for discussion is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wednesday we do the morning show at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we always do the commentary. So I appreciate y'all rocking, man. For real, man. All love, brother. I already know, man. I appreciate you, man. But yeah, man, pull up tomorrow though, good Lord willing. But Oscar's back there in the members only chat. If anybody wants to pull up, if you are a member, you already have access to that. So I appreciate y'all, man. For real. Y'all be easy, take care of yourselves, and don't forget, smack that like button. But most importantly, remember, with God we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.